The One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation and its global supporters cordially invite Jamaicans ayard and abroad to its inaugural Reconnection on June 21st, 2025 at the Ranny Williams Entertainment Center in Kingston, Jamaica. Bring your entire family for a day of food, fun, entertainment, and information. Get an understanding of the Constitution and the skills necessary to exercise your rights and your civic responsibilities as Jamaican citizens. You can't afford to miss this inaugural Reconnection rally, June 21st in Kingston. Tune in for further information and updates to Reason with Rattigan on YouTube and reggaeglobalradio.com, Saturdays at 3 p.m. New York time and at 2 p.m. in Jamaica.
See for yourself.
We're saying that the Magnitsky Act was named after a Russian journalist / lawyer who uncovered tremendous amounts of corruption in Russia. And for that, he was arrested, beaten, and killed. So the US government named this act after him. And it's gone through some refinements. As it stands right now, the US government can revoke visas and seize property belonging to foreign government officials and private citizens for corruption, kleptocracy, and human rights violations. And believe me, my people, Jamaica qualifies in all three categories. All three categories.
Greetings, everybody. I can't hear me, people. Talk to me. Oops. Can you hear me? Oh, my good like good. Loud. Yes, people, once again, it's a pleasure to be here on this, I don't know, it's overcast. It's not overcast. It's light rain outside, at least in the Northeast and the Middle Atlantic states. Kind of remind me of like San Francisco type weather a little bit, but we have to give thanks for life. We're still here, right? Yes, indeed. Bless up, everyone. Yeah. Listen, there's been so much going on. I mean, it's just tiring to try and keep up with everything that's coming out of Jamaica. Jamaica is a gift that keeps on giving, content rich. Let me start by bigging up a whole bunch of people in the chat, well-wishers, supporters. Elaine Turner, more life, more love, more strength. Bless up. JM Master Songwriter. Yes, big up yourself, Miss B. Yeah, Dr. Ben will join us shortly. ACLB, blessings. Patel, good to see you, man. Good evening. Karen, blessings, Karen. Thanks for stopping by, gracing us with your presence. Hugh, greetings to you, blessings as well to you and your household. Beverly, a wonderful Wednesday to you as well. Thanks, Beverly. Much appreciated. Douglas, yes, sir. Blessings. Cecile, good night to you. Thanks for joining us. Merle. Well, let me see what Merle say. Sir Patagonia had topic again. He was bomb rush. The person comes out again on the same mission salary package. Yeah, we have to look on that, Merle. We have to check that out. We have to talk to Rowan. In fact, I have a message. OT sent me a message for talk to him from this morning, but you know it go. They are busy, all right. ATIs and a carry on. So, all right, Merle, big up yourself. Jerry, up top, way up there, my brother. Way up there. Jerry, up there, over there. Queen Breezy, bless up. Dorette, Miss D, up. We're there. Jeffrey Worrell, greetings and good evening to you. Kamar present. Thanks for being in class, Kamar. Dorothy McCoy, blessed good night to you as well. Lance White, good night. Blessings galore. Mark Peart, yes, up and thankful. Thank you, sir. Likewise. Joey B, bless up yourself. Hope all is well with you and family. Carla Banks, bless up, Carla. Thank you. Yard Night 3 says the U.S. government that's also corrupt and got busted for spying on its own citizens. Interesting. Carla Williams, watching from Maryland. Okay, down the road. All right, Carla. By the way, Carla, stay dry because outside the wet, all day long. Dalvis Squattlebaum, good night to you. Legris, blessings, Legris. Paulette MacArthur, good night. Miss Rita, thank you for being here, Miss Rita. Your presence is greatly appreciated. Catherine D, greetings, Catherine. Oh, Carla said, Turner, thank you. Okay. G Angel. Greetings, G Angel. Greetings. Fruit the Pond. Good evening. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the support. Cecile Phillips. Yes, we can. We are going to do it, And, Cecile, yes, we can. Just remind me during the program because we have to do some yes, we can. Because we have some outstanding things we have to take care of. We're lingering. We're talking about the petition and we're talking about the rally. we're lingering. So Cecile, I'm going to keep that message handy because during the program we're going to talk about it. Kenneth, yes, indeed. New York safe now. Brooklyn safe. Brownsville, Bed-Stuy, East New York, East Flatbush, New Lots, everywhere safe in Brooklyn because Mega is here. All right. Carla, yeah, chilling in Maryland right now, right? Where are you, Carla? You're East Maryland, West Maryland, North Maryland, South Maryland. I don't know where you are, but anywhere you are, 60 degrees is kind of chilly right now, but such is life. Roger, greetings, my brethren. G Angel. Yeah, we heal up G Angel already. Hey, what it right this up? OT. My brethren, Norman Montague Elias. Lap Scoochie, Bop Scoochie, Mop Scoochie, all kind of Scoochie. I him that people. When you see him, I ask him when him get that name there. It's a great story. Norman, Natty, big up yourself here. So thanks for the strength. And we're just glad to have you at the place. Bless up. Charmin, good night. Flex, bless up yourself. Evie, big up yourself. Charmin was here. I just mentioned Charmin a while ago. Different Charmin this now. Greetings, Charmin. Welcome. Yard Night 3. Good evening. Don James. A lick shot night again tonight. Contents to kill. Jamaica gone down. Last weird side. Okay, Don. No, me get a call later, no, Don. No, because you have to call, because you didn't go right after you, Miss P. Well, Miss P probably called before you, but we know the two no call me tonight. So big up yourself, Don. Kinsley. Yes, sir. Blessings. Dolores. Love you too. You know it go, Dolores. Love all the way around. GC. Yes. Welcome. JMRB Media. Good evening. Hugh. Big up yourself, my brother. Big up yourself. Proud that of 15. Enough manners, fam. Thank you, sir. Mike Reed. Bless up. Is that it? Opal? I go down there and see. Okay. Sign the Magnitsky. Okay, Miss Rita. Yeah, big up your grandson. And by the way, Miss Rita, have him help other people for sign the thing too, if he can. Neighbors and friends and family. Yeah. Lance White. Yeah. All right. People, where do we start? I don't know where to start because there's so much to say. As I said when I started out, Jamaica is the gift that keeps on giving, and not in a good way. Marcia, greetings. Jamaica is content rich. Remember that phrase, content rich. And for those of you who have never heard the story, before I started this journey, I went to Jamaica to get some kind of sponsorship on some program because I just had this desire to speak to all of you. And I was speaking to a gentleman, a pillar of the community, titan of industry. Won't call any name, but everybody knows him. And I was wondering in discussing with him about the program, what format it would take. And we started talking about content. And I was genuinely worried because I started saying, well, where do I, do I have to develop sources? Where am I going to get my content from? And he calmed me down. He said, listen, if there's one thing you don't have to worry about, it's content, because Jamaica is content rich. Never forget that conversation. And it turns out that he was absolutely correct. Jamaica is content rich. So much so that on a Saturday, we have to pick, choose, and refuse stories because there's so many stories to choose from. And we have to kind of decide what's topical, what's interesting, and what, not only for us, but for all of you, what you would like to hear. And I can tell you that every week we make mistakes. And when I say mistakes in the sense that we provide content that not all of you, and although we try to get content that everybody's going to like, but back of our mind we say, well, if we can get 80% of the people to like what we do, we're in good shape. Yes, Jeffrey. So much to say. Miss Rita says she'll try to get Andrew out of office by any means. So this, well, let me tell you one of the things I'm working on. I've been working on it today, and it's this idea about government being efficient. And I went back. Actually, I started the story about 2 weeks ago. Went back and looked at what the Prime Minister said, and he was talking about making government efficient as far back as 2017. And if you recall, when they had the 200, 300% increase, he said part of that was to make the government more efficient, and that you'd have to get, the salary would be an attraction for the best and the brightest to join government, and to make government efficient. And he gave a few more speeches about it. Efficiency. And recently, he said, I am going to create an entity that will look at government inefficiency and look at how we can reform government. And he gave the position to none other than our lazy, ne'er-do-well, grinny, self-absorbed ambassador to the United States, Audrey Marks. He gave her that job. And this week we're going to play you an interview, because in that interview, she's going to talk about her management style. And her management style is deplorable. She doesn't know how to solve anything, at least not with government. I heard that she was highly successful in business. And maybe that's where she should go. She should go back to business. She shouldn't stay in government. She's like a millstone around our necks, because we're paying her a salary and we're not getting value for money. We're not. She was lazy when she was here the first go around, and she came back in 2016 and she was even lazier when she should have been more active, because the first time around she wasn't here for a long period of time. Oh, Charmaine, they don't call him ex-ambassador. Once you get the title, it stays with you forever, and that's the sad part. So she'll always be referred to as ambassador. But she wasn't an ambassador in the truest sense of the word. She didn't act like one. And she just didn't, it's as if she was outside her element. She didn't look comfortable in the role. She always have this fake grin, and she had some idiotic spells, you know. She went after Jeffrey Tavares, I remember very vividly, for absolutely a wrong reason. The reason she claimed that she didn't call on him was that reason didn't exist. But she's now in charge of the Jamaican Doge. And so we're going to discuss her, but we're also going to discuss her former boss as well. And that is my favorite minister. Talk about her almost every day. Talk about her today. I had an interview today and her name came up. And that is Kamina Johnson-Smith. So we're going to talk about her as well. She's a monumental failure. And we you know, surely we have better people on the bench. But for reasons best known to those who have made those decisions, those people are kept in place. And they're not producing. And yet we hear our Prime Minister talking about the salary and about the job description and all of this. Pure promises, unadulterated promises. And therein lies the problem, ladies and gentlemen. The problem of promises made and promises unfulfilled. And we're in the season of promises again. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. This is supposed to be a referendum on performance. We've had 9 years of promises. And it's worth saying these things over to reinforce to people that it's not a 9-day wonder. They're going to come to you, people of Jamaica, particularly those in Jamaica. I know that there are people in the diaspora who will go home and vote. But they're going to come to you and they're going to promise you all kinds of things again. They promised you in 2016. They promised you in 2020. And they're getting ready to promise you again. You owe it to yourself to think critically. You owe it to yourself to reason clearly. And you owe it to yourself to distance yourself from the political rhetoric and just look at the facts. That's all we're asking. Janet, big up yourself. Just look at the facts. Become an informed voter. We don't want you to continue with this legacy business. We want you to hold the politicians accountable. You have to. You owe it to yourselves. You owe it to your family. You owe it to the future. You owe it to Jamaica. Don't let them give you a barrel of water will come from out of some dirty truck. And you run around and think it's Christmas Day. And you just open a present. A present that was promised to you 8 Christmases ago or 9 Christmases ago. No. You're better than that, people. You're better than that. Reggae girl, big up yourself. Semanesh. Yeah, you're right. They are promising the same damn things that they promised in 2016. Same thing. And we have our memories short span. So that's why we have to go back and remind people that there was something called, there is something called a manifesto where they promised us in 2016. And there's another manifesto in 2020. And then in between those two periods, there are lots of speeches. So that's one of the things we're going to be talking about this Saturday. Government efficiency, and show you how inefficient the government has been and how many promises we have received. And it's only now in 2025 that they're saying that they're serious. But look, this Jamaican Doge business, I don't remember the name that they've called this agency. I will show you on Saturday that there were other entities created specifically to address government inefficiency. And if you ask what happened to those companies, I mean, not companies, those entities, what happened to them? Where are the reports? Did they make government more? Well, obviously they didn't, because now they're bringing this ne'er-do-well to come and run government. She doesn't have the skill set to do it. She doesn't have the acumen to do it. She doesn't have the temperament. She simply doesn't have what it takes to do it. And so I want you to look at this as another ploy, another promise, another distraction. So that's one. The second thing we're going to talk about is Fertilizer Gate. Walk like a champion. Greetings. We haven't forgotten about the fertilizer thing. We're going to go over it because there is a lot in the Auditor General's report. And we just need to go over it to make sure, Watergate, to make sure that you understand how politicians on a whole, and it's not limited to one party, let me be absolutely clear. Anybody who tells you that the JLP is pure and untainted and it's a joke, we all know that. But by the same token, if they tell you that the PNP has never committed any act of corruption, run them way. Boy, Megan, we just mellow. I don't know if I want me eat today. We just feel mellow. So we're going to go over that report, and we're going to reveal things that mainstream media did not see fit to reveal. And you know my style. I'm going to put up the report itself, and we're going to walk through the report, because it will never be said that Rattigan, or at least I'll try for it never to be said that Rattigan made up a story. No, we're going to show you, and we're also going to show you where you can find the report. So if you feel like getting the entire report to read, you'll know where it is. And then we are going to talk about Drillgate. Charmaine, why is the reason the IC is not releasing the names of 7 being investigated for illicit enrichment? That's a very good question. That's a question that the opposition should be asking on a daily basis. They did ask when the story broke, but we haven't heard anything recently, at least in a sustained manner. We don't need someone to ask about it today and then we don't hear about it for another 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. The opposition should have talking points that they and their surrogates go out and they just hammer these talking points home. Lily of the Valley, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. Look at what happened. It was today where they found over 200 weapons. You'll give them credit that they located 200 weapons. But what about the 2,000 that got through? Dr. Ben, big up yourself. Big up yourself, sir. You can't hear me? Walk like a champion. Your son asked about the voice. I don't know. I just get, you know what happened, folks? I'm just feeling that Saturday night vibe, you know, that late night vibe. It's one of them things, you know. Just bear with me tonight. When I like it or when I like it. I suspect that and I like it. Because people are talking about it. So, Sidlin, Gail, good night and welcome. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy the program. Lily of the Valley, I love it. Yeah. Walk like a champion. Dr. Ben, I hope you can give me something to just keep the voice going because the people love it.
Well, I was saying, man, it sounds so what's the word now? What's the word I should use? It sounds the women, not me. The women would say it sounds sexy.
Yeah. You know what? Usually on a Saturday night, this is how I feel. On a Saturday night, because during the day, you know, we're all hyped up, excited, and just want to get the information out and talk to the people. And then by Saturday night, we're kind of mellow and just kind of like ease into the music. But for some reason tonight, we just feel away.
Yes, sir. the deep bass, man.
Yeah. Jim, no, I won't put it to sleep because Dr. Ben is here and Dr. Ben are going to talk up the things. So again, folks, government efficiency. We're going to talk about the fertilizer gate, and then we have drill gate, and drill gate is going to be so interesting. And I'll tell you something. Maybe that's why I'm in this mood. I just feel just mellow. I spent a considerable amount of time today. I was working on ATIs. I did an interview about ATIs. And then I was working on the efficiency thing. And I've been talking to a bunch of people about the drill gate situation. And there's one person that I had a very long conversation with through the assistance of somebody, and that person is listening. And Dr. Ben, I tell you, this drill gate thing is more involved than we think it is. It's more than just they paid $5 million for a drill and they sold it, or they were trying to sell it to the government for $31 million. It's much more than that. It's much more than that, people. Believe me. When you start to pull on that thread and things start to unravel, you see the whole picture. My eyes were opened wider than they've ever been on this subject maybe an hour ago. Because I heard some things that just, some people would say they were fantastical. It's just hard to believe that these things are going on in Jamaica. There are people in Jamaica just raping the country, right, left, and center. And the thing is, we sit back and I shouldn't say we allow it to happen. I should say we sit back and these things happen because most of us don't even know that these things are happening. We don't know that these things are, and they're happening right in front of our eyes. So, no, Marie, we're not depend on nothing. So, those are the three things that we're going to be focused on. And we have some additional things as well. Time permitting, we will, here and there we'll do it. But before we have Dr. Ben say anything, there are two things I must talk to you about. One of them is the Magnitsky Petition. It has come to my attention that approximately 60,000 people have visited the petition, visited that specific location on the change.org site. It's also come to my attention that quite a few people who signed the petition, based on the names, they don't appear to be Jamaicans. So, it could be like a Russian name or a Japanese name or like a Slavic name. It's not a name that's common to Jamaica. And I must tell you that I'm sorely disappointed, because we've worked so hard to get this thing going. And a lot of you encouraged us over the past year and a half or so once we started talking about this. And we thought we had the support of everyone simply because people said, yes, we're finally doing something about holding government accountable outside of Jamaica. And I'm disappointed that we have 60,000 people who went, and we have only about 2,000 people who signed up. Now, some of you have made it abundantly clear to me that you didn't sign because they were asking, you thought that you had to pay, you had to make a donation to sign, and we told you that that wasn't the case. Now, some of you, I believe, experienced some glitches in the system where it appeared as if you were requested to make a donation, but in the main, that's not the case. And I think this Saturday we're going to try and clear it up. But let me repeat, you do not have to make a donation in order to sign the petition. In fact, we're encouraging you, we're telling you, we're begging you, we're beseeching you, do not make a donation. Just go and sign. And between now and the program on Saturday, if any of you should have a problem signing, that is to say, if you're being requested to make a donation, bring it to our attention on Saturday. Otherwise, please go ahead and sign. There's a group of us, we meet on Mondays. And these folks, they put their hearts and their souls into this thing. And we're ready now to launch. But this project cannot take flight unless we have that petition with a significant amount of signatures. 60,000 people visited, and only 2,000 people spent any time. So I'm asking all of you now on the platform, if you haven't signed, please go ahead and sign. The second thing is the event in Jamaica, the Reconnection rally. Again, people said, yes, we talk, but we don't do anything. And we need to help our brothers and sisters in Jamaica. And by extension, we're helping ourselves. And we said, okay, let's put something together that we can host our brothers and sisters, our family members. Let's give them this one day where they know they're coming, they know they're going to be fed, they know they're going to be entertained, and they know they're going to be educated. Educated about what? About their role in the society as Jamaicans through the lens of civics. We've talked about this, I don't know, for 2 months now. And here it is. We're coming around the last lap. And we're still asking people to make a contribution. I must tell you that I've had second thoughts about this. And I'm wondering if this, I've never had cause to think like this. But recently, yes. And I'm thinking, is this really worth it? Because here it is that we're putting in the time and the effort at great expense. And we're not even thinking about some of the things that we're ignoring in our personal and our professional lives because we're committed to the cause. And we thought that we had a group of people committed to the cause with us. Before I go any further, let me just say to all of the people who have contributed, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. Let me make that abundantly clear, because there are people out there who deserve the recognition. They've slaved, they've toiled, they've sacrificed to make the financial donation and also to sign the petition. But then there are others. And I know this is a time where we're all struggling. But remember, we've been talking about this now for about 2 months. And we've even suggested that, look, and I've said it to the team that, look, if we could get $50, we said, look, the program averages, I don't know, around 14,000. And that's 14,000 devices, not 14,000 people. It's much more than 14,000. And we said, okay, if 1,000 people could part with $50, we would have more than enough to take care of all of the expenses in Jamaica. And that was 2 months ago. So if you're giving $5, you'd be well on your way. This worries me. It worries me about our commitment. And I've been thinking about it long and hard. And there are some decisions I will have to make. Unfortunately, the decisions that I'm thinking about making, the government is going to win. The government and their supporters. Because they're gonna look at us and laugh and say, look, see, all of the hullabaloo, and look, they're falling flat on their faces. And I must be honest with you, I started a book, and I believe I'm about halfway through it, and I stopped to do this. And I'm seriously thinking about stopping this and just going back to just finishing up the book and just carry on with my life. I'm seriously thinking about curtailing the program. And instead of doing 5 hours, I just do 1 hour. I just come on, just do a commentary, and then that's it. Because we cannot continue like this. It's only one event we have planned for the year that you will have to make a contribution. One. And we've been talking about this for months. And here it is. We're a few weeks away from the event. And we're not prepared. We're not prepared in the sense that we don't have the resources. We have the plans. The plans are there. Everything is in place. But it requires a financial contribution. And so, as sad as it is, and it is for me too, I truly feel that my calling is probably elsewhere. Do the program, do 1 hour, just come on and just do a commentary, take a subject, just talk about it 30, 45 minutes, and then just go. Simply because I thought that we had galvanized the group. I thought that we had a group that was dedicated a group that would make the sacrifice and say, okay, we're going to sign the petition, we're going to make our contributions, we're going to support this effort. It's one petition we're asking you to sign. It's one event we're asking you to make a contribution for. And yet we can't get our people to do it. Can't get our people to do it. We come on, we preach, and to some degree, at some point, I'm wondering about the effectiveness of what I'm doing, because I'm like, if I can't get all of you with all of the work that I'm putting in at night, weekends, holidays, nonstop, to inform you, to educate you, and to take affirmative action to hold government accountable. And if that's not working, then it's best for me to just move on and do something else. It's that simple. So the choice is yours. If you love what I'm doing and you believe in me, then you've got to take some action. Otherwise, I'll just simply move off, and then I'll just become a footnote. But then I'll be pursuing other things. And believe me, I'll be busy doing something else because I'm a busybody. I just love to keep busy. But I even said to producer OT and producer Joan, I said to both of them, look, maybe we should just postpone it. And them almost kill me. Them say, you're mad. No, we have to move forward with it. Them say, even if we have to, whatever it takes, we have to get this thing done. We promised the people of Jamaica, we have to get it done. We cannot promise people, we cannot complain that government has made promises to people and they're unfulfilled. And then we end up doing the same thing. We'd be hypocrites. So that's where we are, people. Sometimes you just have to make some difficult choices. But sometimes, and in doing so, you have to say, well, I'm just going to cut my losses. You know, you can't keep throwing good money after bad. You can't keep pressuring people and say, listen, here's what's wrong with Jamaica. Here's how we plan to fix it. Walk with us, talk with us, support us. And then people say, yes, we're with you 100%. And then when you turn around, you just see a few people. Just a few people. And yet you say, yay, the program is great. I learned so much. Now I fully understand what's going on. And it's a joy for me to hear that, because it validates what I'm doing. It says, yes, you're doing something that the people see as valuable to them. But then, as I said, there comes a time when you have to say, okay, what are we going to do? Are we just going to sit and talk? And I don't believe in just sitting and just talking. We have to do something. We have to be the difference that we seek in Jamaica. And if we don't do it, who will? Nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody. Anyway, that's my soapbox. Dr. Ben, welcome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I hear Ratty. You know, as a person, sometimes, when you grow, one thing about growth is that you sometimes have to know when growth is taking you in a different direction. And you know, I'm at that place in my life where there are times when you have to reevaluate not just what you're doing, but how you're doing it, because the goal is to be as effective and as fruitful as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, sometimes you have to do that. You know, one of the things that for me, right now I'm in a position where you know, we have an office in St. Thomas, and we are rethinking how we do that because we want to do some things differently. So you know, one thing about growth is you sometimes have to know when to be effective, but do it in another way. Because as I said, a lot of the persons who are on are benefiting. Trust me, a lot of persons are benefiting. And sometimes it's not so much the quantity, but the quality of the work. Sometimes in everything that you do, there's a core set of persons who are there. And if you have any big function that's happening, for example, if a lot of persons that are here are a part of some sort of faith-based organization, usually when they call for a work day, any type of work day, anything that requires rolling up your sleeve and getting involved. If it's 100 members or 1,000 members, you'll only find a 3%. So in my mind, I always know that whatever the number that I'm working with, the core is 3% or less. And so that's very important because it allows you not to have unrealistic expectations. So if there is if you look at you see 1,000 devices, your core is really 300 or less. So that's so if you get anything over 300, then it's a miracle, because that's one of the magic of numbers that we work with. And I know that there are so the question is, do I allow the 700 out of the 1,000? Do I allow the 700 to allow me to stop impacting the 300? Because that same 300 will allow you to grow to 10,000. Then, if you have 10,000, it's now 3,000. As the work gets bigger and as the impact gets bigger, that same principle will continue to be true. And so that's one of the things that I use in guiding me in terms of going forward. So you've got to, it's always encouraging to work with that in mind, And as I said that, I understand what you're saying, because there's just so much things that you could be doing. And sometimes one thing I learned is always, there's a saying that if you're a preacher, always leave the podium with people wanting you to continue. Never preach until they get tired of you. And so sometimes if you have to reduce the time to create an impact of demand, because what happens sometimes is that sometimes I've learned it, when you put in a lot of time, one of the shortfall of that is that people learn not to value that time that is being given. So you sometimes have to create scarcity, because we are people who are accustomed to scarcity. We are not accustomed to abundance. And once we are exposed to abundance, what happens is that we become complacent in our mindset, and we become familiar. And so one of the reasons why gold, diamonds, and some of the most precious minerals are valuable is because sometimes, even if it is found or mined in a certain quantity, there's a system that controls how it is distributed to ensure that it remains in scarcity, because that's what people appreciate. People appreciate scarcity. People don't appreciate abundance. And it's sad because, our creator, he's a creator of abundance, and he wants us to have that abundance mindset. But we have been in the system that we are in. We live in a system where people don't learn to appreciate abundance. People value scarcity. And so sometimes, if you're at an event, I was saying to somebody that as much as I believe in free, as much as I do believe in free, and I help persons for free, it's never 100% free. It has to cost you something. And so there's this person, and he knows that I love to help. And I know this. He called me a couple of times and said, "Dr. Ben, I saw this person, and I want you to follow up with them." And I did it. I did about 10 persons, and I said, "Hold on, wait up. No, hold on, wait up. You cannot be seeing persons and introducing me to see persons for free. It doesn't work that way, because you're teaching people not to value me, and I know better than that. So I will work for free, But what I tell persons, I tell them the value. So I'll say, okay, this is $10,000. I know the value of what it is. But I also know that you're in a position where it's difficult for you. So I want you to tell me, out of this 10,000, what you can afford. Because it's important that you make a distinction between helping somebody and doing it for somebody. And doing it for somebody is when it doesn't cost them anything. Helping somebody is when they are allowed to pay what they can afford. So if something costs $1 million, if I have something that's cost $1 million and it's in my power to do it, or it's in my power to help you, and you can afford $1, then I just helped you. But if it costs $1 million and I just said that, oh, it's totally free to you, then I have not helped you. True. It must cost you something. It's not a principle not about the money, it's what it is going to cost you. Because that $1 that you paid may be the only dollar that you have. And so that $1 that you paid is worth to you more than the $1 million. And so sometimes we have to reevaluate what we are doing. We have to look at it, and we have to see if we are teaching people not to value what we're doing or value us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes maybe sometimes that can happen because of the because you have so much information that you want to share. You want to share so much. You want to help so much. It happens to anybody. Anybody who wants to give out a lot, who wants to share a lot, and who wants to help people a lot, run the risk of losing value. And that is something that I've learned. You know, I'm somebody who loves to share, and there's absolutely nothing that is off the limit to share. But the one thing I've learned is that you can't just give something just for free, because if you do that, you're teaching persons not to value you. And so even this event, this rally that is coming up, it is an opportunity to assess those persons who value the show and those persons who really are just in for the fun of it. And so sometimes what you may have to think about is doing what they call it now. There's what we call there's a free version, because everything that I do, there is a free component, a free version, but there is also a component or a version for those persons who can afford it. And so maybe one thing that you may have to think about is what they call it, that they have this thing on YouTube where persons can become like paid members, something of that nature. And it don't have to be a lot. It can be $1, $2 per month, or $3 per month, where certain sensitive information, the information that carries weight, that has value, because you put in so much time, you put in so much information to help persons and to educate persons. You create a platform for those persons who value to take advantage of it. And that's something, and it's something, what I think I learned now? A lot of people say, oh, it's all about money and you love money. You know what I think I learned? I've learned that a lot of the pastors who care about people, who will sleep on the floor and who will give of themselves to help persons, funny enough, those are the ones that are not respected and not loved and are not valued. And the one that come to pray, and the one that come to take advantage and to use people, funny enough, those are the ones that are loved, and those are the ones that are respected, and those are the ones that get the support. It's sad. And it goes back to my point, as I said, that people don't value abundance. People value scarcity, because we live in a world where people are taught to value scarcity. They don't value abundance. So if you make yourself available, if you make your information available, if you make what you do available, then funny enough, people lose sense of value for you, and they will not want to pay for an event like this, but they will want to pay for another event where the value is far less. And that's basically, that's just a reality. So, it's really a wake up call. And as I said that, so I want to come and I want to add value. So, I come and I said to persons that when I come, I really it's really a sacrifice for me to come. And one of the reasons why I come is because the greatest weapon against sickness and disease is education, not medication. And so the help that people really need is not even so much natural products, it's education, it's information. And so when I get an opportunity for on a platform like this, I realize that persons come and they don't want to ask the questions. And believe me, when one person asks a question, it allows us to benefit so much more persons. And then when the show is off, persons want to call me when my time is so limited, and that's when they want to talk for hours and for a long period of time, and you know, doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. So as I said, I want to come and I want to maybe lead out by bringing a topic or something that will help to stimulate persons in that direction. So tonight and for the next couple of weeks, I want to do just that so that we can help to bring more value. So tonight I came because I wanted to talk about something that I see that every one of us is exposed to, every one of us is faced with that. And it's really, it has to do with food labels. And I want to go a little bit in depth into food labels because we live in a society now where a lot of persons are poisoning themselves. Cancer is on the rise, and cancer is more on the rise like never before. I tell persons that, you know, Western medicine has its place because herbal medicine or natural medicine is more so designed for natural diseases. Diseases that are the result of bacteria, viruses, those are what I call natural diseases. So bacteria, viruses, and imbalance in terms of minerals or in terms of nutrients. Those are what we call natural diseases. That is where natural medicine excels. But we are now living in a time when a lot of persons, the bulk of the diseases that we're seeing is not the result of viruses, not the result of bacteria, it's the result of poisoning. So a lot of people are poisoning themselves. And the thing about it is a lot of persons buy the poisons themselves and consume it themselves. A lot of mothers, a lot of women go on a weekly basis, they go shopping to purchase low dose poison. And when they buy the low dose poison, they come back home and they prepare the low dose poison for their partners, for their children, for their family members, because they don't know how to identify poisons in food labels, or they don't know how to identify. When I say low dose poisons, I mean there are a lot of things that I want to go into tonight that people are not educated, because a lot of times we see things that we can't identify, that we don't know, and we bring them home and we prepare them. So I wanted to talk about food labels. And I wanted to say that food labels contain two major categories of information. All right, so food labels contain what I call advertisements. So the advertisements sometimes are it's firstly in the form of tantalizing, attractive images that appeals to the senses, it appeals to the eyes, it appeals to our senses, and then it causes us to want to purchase. All right, so it contains what I call advertisements, and then it contains what I call nutritional facts or legal documents. So it contains legal documents, and it contains advertisements on them. And so I wanted to go into these very two crucial sections. So as I said, the first one is the nutritional facts. And I want to say that most of the time the nutritional fact is not based on studies. A lot of times the nutritional facts do not take into account our ethnicity. I don't want to come across as being racial, but I want to make the point by saying that there are certain things about our ethnicity that makes us different from other ethnic groups. So the melanin that we contain makes us very different from other groups. And so it's very important for us to understand that. Now, the food that we eat, or the food that we purchase, as I said, it contains ingredients. And these ingredients are based on what we call, there's what we call ideal health, recommended daily value or recommended daily amounts. And the recommended daily amounts usually are, so for example, it may say sodium. That amount of sodium that the label recommend sometimes is far from what we call our ideal. So there's a recommended daily amount, and then there's the ideal daily amount. So the ideal daily amount is a particular amount of nutrients that we need in order to have good health, right? So that's the ideal. And then the recommended, which is what is recommended on the label. Sometimes that recommended amount is far less than what the ideal should be. So in other words, even if you were consuming what is recommended, you still would be way off nutritionally. Still would be way off nutritionally in terms of what's ideally needed by the body. If we stop now, Jamaica stands alone. No, we're not stopping. We're not stopping. Lance White, we're not stopping. What we want to do is we want to create value. We want we want the most value for what we are doing. That's what we want. So we're not going to stop. We might just reevaluate how we do it, but we're not going to stop. There comes a time when you have to reevaluate what you are doing, and to look if you're getting the most or the best. All right. So going back to the food labels. So the food labels contains what we call a nutritional panel. Now, that nutritional panel sometimes contains some very interesting words. And this is why it's important for you to pay attention to the food label. So what is being marketed sometimes is very different from the reality. You would be amazed to know that words like natural, words like light, words like made with real fruit, words like immune boosting have little to no regulations. And so what it means is that natural is a legal word. So companies are allowed sometimes to say that something is natural if it contains 1% of a natural ingredient in it. Or if it has 10 ingredients, 10 artificial ingredients and 1 natural ingredient, then they're allowed to say natural. Then there is sometimes, if it contains a percentage, a very minuscule percentage of something natural in it, they're legally allowed to say that it is natural. And so it's very important that we understand these realities, I should say, about food labels. So a food can be labeled natural and still contain preservatives. A food can be natural and still contains dyes or contains artificial flavorings. And so what I want to do, start out by doing, is I want to go through some of the words that you look for, some of the terms to look for, and I want to talk about what they mean to help you in identifying some of the possible toxins that are found in some of the foods that we eat. Many everyday products contain carcinogens. These are cancer-forming elements, cancer-forming compounds. Many of the foods that we eat contains what we call endocrine disruptors. Many of them are neurotoxic, have neurotoxic additives in them, especially ultra-processed foods. These foods can cause conditions like obesity, they can cause diabetes, they can cause high blood pressure, they can cause gut issues, and they can cause autoimmune diseases. So in a lot of countries, it's all about preserving. Joe Blogg said, no buy nothing with artificial color or flavoring. A lot of times, and I don't want to get political, but a lot of the foods that are found in Europe, for example, and this whole issue about the tariff, one of the reasons for that is because a lot of the foods that are sold on the shelf in countries like America cannot be sold in Europe. They can be shipped to Jamaica and they can be shipped to other third world countries, but a lot of the foods cannot be sold in America, in Europe. They can be sold in America, but they cannot be sold in Europe because Europe has regulatory laws as it relates to food colorings, as it relates to additives, as it really there's more regulation as it relates to food in Europe than as it relates to food in the US. So a lot of the foods that are eaten in America and sold in America, a lot of the vegetables that are eaten and sold in America can't be sold to Germany. They can't be sold or exported to the European Union countries. They can't be sold here. And the reason for that, if you look, you will realize the obesity problem, countries like America and Jamaica, the cancer, the rate of cancer, the percentages, the high percentages of cancer, the high percentages of cardiovascular diseases, they are much higher in certain parts of the world than they are in certain parts of the world. And so that is also one of the things that is fueling or affecting this whole tariff on certain foods. Don't want to get deep into that, but I want you to understand that certain countries and certain authorities have zoomed in on the problem. So this is not something that I have raised. This is not something that I've made up and fabricated. There are, if you do your homework and do your research, you'll realize that a lot of the food, a lot of the vegetables, a lot of the fertilizers, a lot of the chemicals that are allowed to be used on foods, that are allowed to be used in certain of the household products. In some countries, they are not allowed. And they are greatly sold, they are greatly appreciated and accepted, especially in countries like Jamaica. One of the reasons for that is because they know that we have not been educated. We don't have any regulating agencies. We don't have agencies that are busy regulating what comes into Jamaica. When you think about the amount of bleaching, if we know the detriment of bleaching creams, if we know the detriment of bleaching compounds, how are so many brands, not one brand, not two brand, not three brand, how come so many brands of bleaching compounds that are known to be detrimental to the health of our people are found on shelves here in Jamaica? Now, this is not just relating to bleaching compounds and so on. As a matter of fact, some of the bleaching compounds are far less dangerous than some of what you're ingesting. Some of the bleaching, as detrimental and as dangerous as these bleaching soaps and these bleaching creams are, you need to understand that there are far more toxic products available in the form of food because we don't have enough regulatory entities, and so the regulators have to be you in your home. The person who goes to the supermarket, I want to talk to you tonight. Who is the person that goes to the supermarket to buy the shampoos, to buy the deodorants, to buy the salad dressing, to buy the vegetable? That person, I want to speak to you tonight because I want you to understand that a lot of you are not equipped, and so what you are doing is you are buying poison. You are bringing it home, and Rattigan, some of these women are so blessed that when them season the poison, and when them prepare the poison, you smell it, you can't say no. Because they are blessed with the gift of preparing meals to mask the taste and to mask the dangers. And so you wonder why your husband blood sugar keep on going up. You wonder why your children allergy is getting worse. You wonder why you start to develop poor circulation. You wonder why the sex drive is gone and why the mental processing is different. All of this is the result of body-altering chemicals that have been brought into the home with good intention, but is wreaking havoc on our homes and is wreaking havoc on our people. Feel free to jump in any time, Ratty, and maybe to take questions, because as I said, if you allow me, I will go on and on and on and on, because I'm a preacher as well, so I will go on and on and on and on. But I really want persons to realize and to understand tonight. I want to just raise the topic, raise the issue as to why people are not able to make the correlation with the high levels of obesity, the high levels of diabetes, the high levels of cancer. It is because a lot of times we are introducing dangerous, carcinogenic, not just food, but a lot of the cleaning agents that we use, a lot of the what you call that thing that we put in our clothes. Some of us use chemicals, what they call deodorizers. Some of them are designed to make the clothes smell good. But a lot of times, softener, thank you very much, Softland, a lot of these chemicals that have been given free reign in our homes and in our business places are, in truth and reality, poisons that cannot be sold in certain parts of the world. So they are dumped on us. They are dumped on us, and we don't know. So tonight, and for the next couple of nights, I want to talk about them. But I want to give you some names. I want to give you some words. I'm going to paste them in the chat. And I want you to be able to get your books or your pens out, because I want you to begin to learn these words. So women, when you go shopping, or men, whoever it is that spends the money in the house, that goes shopping, I want you to be able to identify the poisons. And I don't know, Ratty, you might get in some serious trouble, because I'm going to be equipping people. And this is now going to affect me, because I'm not going to call any product by name. I won't do that. But I'm going to talk about some chemicals, and I'm going to talk about some compounds to look out for so that when you go shopping, you will be able to see the know that once you see, for example, something like a paraben. Let me write that one. P-A-R-A-B-E-N. That one I want to, you want to look for that word there. Sometimes it is a suffix, meaning that it is at the end of another bigger word. But any compound you see that has P-A-R-A-B-E-N on it, you need not to bring that home. That is a type of endocrine disruptor. And when I talk about this, some of your men, you'll know what I'm talking about. So if you have, for example, fibroids, as a matter of fact, if you're on the show tonight, I want you to go into your handbag right now. And I want you to begin to look at the label of your lotion. So I'm not going to tell you the name of any lotion tonight. I want you to look at the back of the label. And if you're on the show tonight, I want you to tell me if you see this word on your lotion tonight. And then I'm going to tell you what you have in your hand. If you're on the show tonight, I want you to take down your, ladies, if you're at work, or if you can cry excuse and go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom, take out your lotion tonight, and I want you to look on the label if you see the word P-A-R-A-B-E-N, either by itself, standing alone by itself, or as a suffix, or as being attached to a bigger word. And I want you to just say, I found it. Just say, I found it. I'm going to tell you how dangerous this chemical is. A lot of the men who have erectile dysfunction problem, every time you put that compound on your body and it goes into your bloodstream. Freedom says Vaseline is a byproduct of oil. Well, I want you to find the word paraben. I'm going to give you some products tonight. Repeat it, Dr. Ben. P-A-R-A-B-E-N. I put it in the chat. P-A-R-A-B-E-N. I'm going to give you some more tonight. So when you go shopping and you're looking for your shampoo or you're looking for your lotion, you make sure you don't pick up none with this word on it. Because a lot of women who have fibroids, who are staying away from the chicken, who are staying away from the things that they know, and have this lotion. As a matter of fact, if by just stop using it, you're gonna realize that your heavy bleeding is going to be decreased. If you stop using it, you're going to realize that your belly is going to shrink, because this is something that feeds. All right, JMRB Media says methylparaben. Put that on the screen for me, OT. Methylparaben, that's another one. That's another type of it. You don't have to tell me the name of the brand of the product that you found it in. But I know she went methylparaben. I know that somebody did their homework. We're going to talk about chemicals. We're going to talk about food labels, man. Don't worry, man. We're going to talk about food labels tonight. Because since our government now have an entity, since our government don't have an entity to educate us, now people have to come for Rattigan show, figure learn how figure shopping. So somebody put paraben, methylparaben, ethylparaben, propylparaben, butylparaben, heptylparaben, butylparaben. All of these words are just fancy names for a chemical that is an endocrine disruptor. It disrupts your endocrine system. So you will find a lot of these on skincare products. And let me tell you why they put it in there. They put them in there. They put it on these products because they want to help the skin to be elastic, to have tight and not is to discourage wrinkling, right? But these are chemicals that are not natural, and what they do is they cause sleeping problems, they cause weight fluctuation problems, they cause hormonal disruption problems. Propyl paraben. So you want to look out for them, and you want to ensure that it is not in your any product that is in your house. So natural ingredients, a natural alternative would have been like there's because our bodies needs oil. Because sometimes we live in an environment where our skin don't produce enough oil to, but here's a very good oil. There is most of the oils, natural oils are naturally come from seeds. So coconut oil is come from the coconut seed. Castor oil come from the castor seed. Shea butter comes from the shea butter seeds. All the oils that are natural comes from seeds, are nuts. And so if you want a good alternative, if you want to put something that is nourishing on your skin, use some coconut oil, cold pressed coconut oil. Get some cold pressed coconut oil, and you can also, but there's just so much, because I tell us, boy, we have become a microwave society that these things we don't even know how to prepare them. So if you get some shea butter, melt the shea butter, and add some coconut oil to it, you don't want nothing else more nourishing for your skin. So paraben, peanut, all of those, that's where we get our natural oils from. We don't want no petroleum, no oil that come out of the ground. Any oil that come out of the ground, we don't want it. No Vaseline. None of these oils that are petroleum based. The body does not know how to metabolize or know how to utilize it. Save that for your vehicle. Remember, say you're no iron. You're a human. So, anything that come out of the ground, we put it in an iron. Once it is petrol base, it's made for vehicles or machines. You are not a machine, so you should use what is natural. And so one of the things that we have lost the art of doing is that we saw our grandparents used to not only prepare the foods and the base of the foods that we consume, but we believe that old fashioned. So we grew up seeing our grandmother preparing the oil that would be used for the week. So grandma would send us go bush. And Papa would pick out the coconut them, the dry coconut them. And we pick out the dry coconut them, and we pick up 2 cocoa to Papa would have pick some cocoa, and we pick up that and we carry it to him. And grandma would have just make me suck off the seed of the cocoa them, put them down for dry up on the zinc, and then she would have beat them into chocolate. That's how we get the chocolate. And if some of the grandmothers would know how to use that cocoa butter to even make oil that we could apply to our skin. And grandma would have make we ox out the coconut them. And would have watched grandma ox out them, and we help grandma grate them, and after we help grandma grate them, we boil it and we would produce enough oil, and grandma would bottle it. And when grandma bottle it for the whole week, that would be the oil for Monday, the oil for Tuesday, the oil for Wednesday, the oil for Thursday. But a lot of our young people now think that is old-fashioned. So we don't know how to do it no more. So we are left at the mercy of the people who tell us that they are giving us something better that contains labeled with words that we don't know what we are putting in our mouth. And we have these sicknesses, we have the health conditions, and we don't know how we come by them because we live in a world where we don't know to do anything for ourselves again. So that is one of the words. Let me just pause a little bit to say, Rat, you have anything to say before we move on? All right. Ratty? Real reggae girls, I have 2 lotions in my possession right now. And the methyl paraben is on the 2 of them. Put reggae girl on, yeah. Make me see that. So reggae girl, if you send a lie, me I tell you. The 2 lotion them we have. The 2 lotion we have, where they put by your skin. A poison they put by your skin. Poison they put in your skin. I don't know if you have fibroids, but if you have fibroids, that is food for fibroids. Yes, Ratty.
Doc, we have in the words of Jeffrey Tavares, breaking news. we have Fireman from 93 FM, News Talk Radio.
Yeah.
Him have something he wants to say. So we're going to take a little pause now upon the paraben thing, and then we'll hear what I'm saying, and then we'll come back to that. All right. Fireman, welcome to Comrades with Rattigan. You're here with me, Dr. Ben, and our lovely audience. So go ahead and tell us what is the breaking news coming out of Jamaica.
Indeed, Rattigan, Mr. Rattigan, the Rebel, thanks a lot, and good evening to Dr. Ben, and indeed your lovely audience. Wilfred, I am stunned, and I think the wider Jamaican population, both at home and indeed in the diaspora, must be stunned this afternoon, because we know that things can go low, but not in a million years we would have expected a prime minister and a government to behave so low. And why am I saying that? Dennis Strong, he was the chairman for the National Solid Waste Management Authority. He was also the General Secretary for the Jamaica Football Federation. And of course, everyone who know Dennis know that Dennis is indeed a surrogate of the Labour Party and the Prime Minister. There's absolutely nothing at all that come from the government of Jamaica, the wholeness-led government, that Dennis Chuck is not out front backing, including going against the Integrity Commission decision in a big way, and several occasions on various radio stations in Jamaica. And indeed, with all of that, of course, you know that the Prime Minister's filing that cannot be certified, the Integrity Commission passed the information over to the FID. And guess what? The announcement comes this evening that Dennis Chung will be heading that organization, the FID, the Financial Investigation Division, that is the major investigative body to invest financial crime in Jamaica, of which the Prime Minister is now under investigation for. And, you know, Mr. Rattigan, if Jamaicans doesn't come out tomorrow in droves from all walks of life, the church, academia, civil society, that is to include groups like Jamaican for Justice, Stand Up Jamaica, Jamaica Accountability Media Portal, and all of these groups must come out tomorrow in our courts. As a matter of fact, I go further. In every society, there comes a time when there's a straw that brought the camel back. And I believe that this one is such at this time in Jamaica. And I would say that I am anticipating that the street of Jamaica should be very, very frenzied tomorrow, with people showing their disgust against it. This is a major. The announcement is major. A major disappointment. It is a blow to all of us here in Jamaica. Well, certainly a number of us here in Jamaica, because there are some people who these things doesn't matter. And had it been the PNP, and they should appoint someone with that checkered record to such an organization, I would be as livid as I am this afternoon, this evening. I just heard out of the Central Kingston Conference with Steve McGregor, where the opposition spokesman and finance reel out a raw thing, and he said that shame tree don't grow at Belmont Road. And he's urging all Jamaicans, civil society, as I just roll out, all those bodies to come on board. The opposition leader, Mark Jefferson Golden, Marky G, he had also doubled down in calling and saying that this one cannot allow to stand. So, Mr. Rattigan,
yes, sir.
I know Dr. Ben is close to the situation here. Before you come in, can I hear what's your take on this, Mr. Dr. Ben, if you wish to weigh in? Is it here?
Yeah, man, I'm here. I'm not so.
What do you make of such an announcement, Dr. Ben?
Well, I'm not so. What should I say now? I'm not so closely. I don't follow so closely. You know, I don't follow so closely certain events. First of all, this is my approach. My approach is that I believe in people power. I do believe in people power, and you know, I focus hard on what I what I have control over. So I don't know enough. I can't speak on it because I don't know enough, honestly.
That is a problem, Dr. Ben. This is something that all of us have control over. And that one of the things that we do is that we're in our little silo, and so we don't have control over certain things. We do have control over things. And what happened is that we have to have that control. We gain that control by basically moving and joining in a collective. Had it been that Rosa Parks said she didn't have control over something, black people would have still there, the bus, and white children would have forget upon all black women and men would have forget upon give white children seats to sit down. So you do have control. You may not be following the situation as closely as some of us may. I can understand that. But let me just share something with you. I'll ask you the question. Based on what I reeled out now, the major investigative body, right, in the country,
Right.
that there is a matter there with the Prime Minister. Do you believe that at all somebody who is very close to the Prime Minister, somebody who always out there defending the Prime Minister, and among other things, and certainly does not possess the requisite qualification to head such a unit? He knows nothing about investigation. He is not a forensic person. He's an accountant, and so on. Do you believe that such a person should forget party line, whichever party is in power? If there's such a person that is close to either of the party, should be allowed to head such an organization at a time when the Prime Minister has a matter with that said institution?
Based on what you just shared, that's a clear conflict of interest. Clear conflict of interest. What should happen is somebody as non-partisan, somebody as biased as is non-biased as is possible, as neutral as is possible, somebody without even any well-known political affiliation would have been the best person to guide such a and to oversee such a matter.
About it. All right, cool. I appreciate that. Mr. Rattigan?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for allowing me, sir. I'm sure you have a lot to say on this.
Yes, I will. All right, my brother.
And I'll remind you again, send me Dr. Ben's number.
I will.
I need to have a chat with him.
For sure,
All
yes.
right?
He will take care of all of the problems.
Okay. Yeah, but I said
don't have any dead or any what I mean, preventative measures is always important.
Okay, sir.
As a matter of fact, them folks tell me say me too lively. Oh my goodness. the folks of the finer folks. I'm talking the finer folks.
Okay, sir.
For the ladies in the space, I hope I give you a laugh today. All right.
We'll talk, sir. Thanks for calling. All right, sir. Bless up. All right.
Yeah. As I said, I really don't know, but as I said that sometimes it's sad because in Jamaica something like that will happen, and it just happened. I mean, it's almost as if nothing will be done about it. It's just like a 9-day talk, and that's it, you know. And let me just say what I want to add to that. What I would want to add to that, Ratty, is that this is where the fact that Jamaica as more churches per square mile, these are areas in which I believe spiritual, respectable persons should step in more. So persons who are respected as being neutral, whether you have a political affiliation or not, but this is somebody who has a higher sense of responsibility to man. So when a person has a higher sense of has a higher level of sense of responsibility to man our government, this is where persons, it's sad because this is where we should be seeing more spiritual men filling these positions, because I've never spoke about the scripture, but and the show a lot, but government is not something that should be led by people who don't have spiritual, not only moral, but strong spiritual accountability. Because if it is that your accountability is to a party, or if it is that your accountability is to another person, there's not much that we can expect from you, because your highest level of accountability is to something that is not higher than you. And so when you have a system like that, you cannot escape corruption. And it is sad that I don't know if the government don't see anybody in the nation, if there's nobody intelligent enough, if there's nobody not only spiritual but intellectually endowed enough to have a place in politics to help guide our nation. And unless this is the case, I can't hold high expectation to persons who are not held to a higher level sense of accountability than themselves. I just don't have a very high level of expectation from persons like that, and that's just so nothing surprises me.
Well, before we get back to the paraben discussion, let me just add my 2 cents. This gentleman, Dennis Chung, it has been reported that when it was discovered and when it was revealed that the Prime Minister had 28 bank accounts, that he said he didn't see anything wrong with the Prime Minister having 28 bank accounts. And you heard what Conrad said about him being a strong supporter. And now another thing happened. Selwyn Hayes, the former technical director of FID, he left last year, and there was an acting, and they're just going to replace him now with this gentleman, Mr. Chung. Now, he doesn't have the, at least Selwyn, I think Selwyn, one of them. He had the background. He came from the JDF. And I can tell you that he was a solid performer. He was the consummate professional in the JCF. People loved him. I've met him. Solid persons. And so when he went over there, he was over at MOC at one point, and then he went over to the FID, and he did yeoman's work over there. For whatever reason, I think his contract ended. I don't know if he wanted to stay on and they said no, or he just decided to just pull the plug. But he's no longer there. Now, this man is going over there with no experience. Now, here's what else is going on over at FID. FID is sorely short-staffed. They gutted the agency. So the investigation now going over there. Plus, remember, the Integrity Commission referred the illicit enrichment aspect of the investigation into the Prime Minister's affairs to FID. Let me say that another way. The Integrity Commission, most of you know this, the Integrity Commission, they said that the Prime Minister did not cooperate with the investigation concerning the illicit enrichment part of it, and so they referred that part of the investigation to FID, which they had every right to, because they have an agreement there's an agreement between both agencies. Now, FID could have gone to could have continued with the investigation, but here's what happened. The Prime Minister short-circuited the whole thing when he took it to court. So what happened, FID essentially says, well, we're not going to get involved until we get a court order as to how we should proceed, because we don't want to go ahead and do it. And then the court says, no, you guys don't have the jurisdiction to investigate him. So there's nothing going on over at FID. Something should have been going on over at FID. At the very least, they should have contacted the Egmont Group, which is a group of financial investigators around the world, and say, look, tell me, is there anything in your jurisdiction with my Prime Minister's name on it? They should have at least been, that should have been done. But I don't think anything's been done. And he's gutted well, I shouldn't say him, but the agency has been gutted. There's nobody over there doing any investigation. So now this man is going over there. You know what's going to happen when he gets over there? He will put the kibosh on whatever investigation they have over there. Nothing is going to happen. So, again, people, you see why this is so important for us to support what we're doing, because we don't want this to be a 9-day wonder. The Prime Minister should be held accountable. And when you see what happened, he's putting his own person over there. You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. Welcome to the program, Mr. Jeffrey Tavares. I know you wanted to ask the doctor a question, but you don't have to ask him from afar. You're right next to him now. You can ask him.
Dr. Ben, good night.
By the way, I just asked Conrad. Conrad said he said he wanted the doctor's number. And I said to him, well, the doctor's been doing a lot of good things lately, and I heard that he's also raising the dead. And he said,
I was told too.
And him saying, I'm not dead. Him saying very lively.
I was told that Dr. Ben can raise people out of Medares and Mapen Cemetery.
Yeah, and I should say that I spent about because we do have a product there in the States now. I'm not updated you. So we some time ago I told you that a lot of the what we call them financial processing companies that process credit cards or debit card payment on our sites, a lot of them are moving away from collecting funds so we can make products available. So that's one of the issues that I'm having. But for persons who can do Zelle, we eventually had to resort to using our banking system here in Jamaica. to do the collections. Eventually, that's what we're gonna have to do. So I've not been pushing it out there, but we do have. So we've made some headway in terms of getting products from Jamaica to the States. So we have a number of products there. We have the colloidal silver there. We have the libido for the men. We have a number of products there. I just haven't made it known. So they are there. We can make them available.
Well, Dr. Ben, I have nothing wrong with raising in the dead, you know. It's Tigo want to know if we can raise the dead. Anyway, let me ask you this question though. You have anything for thyroids, for men who trouble with thyroid?
Yes, we do have, but that's not there in the States, but we do have. The important thing is that what we have in Jamaica, we have now found a way to get it to the States in 3 days.
So how would you get it up to somebody?
So what we try to do is to move things in bulk to our warehouse in New York, and then from New York we distribute it. So we don't distribute domestically. So if you ordered something, you'd have to wait until we're doing a batch shipping, which we do every week. So if you let me know, then I will make it available in the next shipment to New York, and then you can get it.
Yes, I need something for thyroid because I'm having a weight issue. I can't lose any weight, and if you follow Tigo, you don't do nothing. Tigo and Rattigan is the same thing. You see, when you go to Rattigan house, you know, you carry go to Nyama, hold your Nyama, the whole downtown and parade.
Yeah, and that's why I talk about it tonight, because especially as it relates to thyroid, you know, I went to the barber. My barber did that surgery for thyroid, and then there was another lady there for thyroid, and she was telling me how many persons she had with thyroid problems. He was telling me how many persons had with thyroid problem. And so these are also issues that are affected by endocrine disruptors. There are certain foods that you eat that literally affect your endocrine system. So it's not just, a lot of times when persons are sick, their first response is, what do I need to take? But my first response is, what do I need to stop taking? Because a lot of times the problem, not a virus, not a bacteria, the problem started out with a habit. Is being supported and sustained by a habit. And so what we don't want to do is lead people to believe that they can have bad habits and get natural products to help them and sometimes support their bad habits. So we want to deal with the habits first.
You know why he's laughing? Because he's gonna ask you if you have any of those that medicine gave to him. You remember medicine gave to him?
Yes.
Doc, listen. You have taught me enough, so much so that I know the difference between somebody who's having a thyroid problem and somebody who's having a hand-to-mouth problem.
So what you're trying to say?
And I know the difference, Doc. You taught me well. Yeah. I know the difference.
So what are you trying to say, Mr. Rattigan?
What I'm saying is that me throw my can and me no call no foul. But we fling a stone in the hand, the first hag all out, I him get lick. So that talk about the paraben here. So before we get back to this this gentleman here, Mr. Dennis Strong, we're going to get back to him, but I want to finish up the paraben thing.
Yeah. So paraben is just one of the compounds that I want to talk about, and I want to talk about paraben because it's one of the chemicals that we use a lot, and it's on our dresser. It's found in skincare products and hair care products, and a lot of the times I talk about fibroids. 8 out of every 10 women. One statistic said 8 out of every 10 women will have fibroids. One of the things that we're seeing very scarce in Jamaica to Rattigan is pregnancy. Pregnancy has become very scarce here in Jamaica.
Wow.
Pregnancy has become so scarce that the obstetric and gynecology department, that are the midwifery department within the Ministry of Health, the nursing schools, some of them have practically closed down because I heard one nurse told me that her professor told her that by the time she finished training, she won't get any job because people are not having children. Infertility is on the rise in Jamaica. We worry about we have no idea what's happening, you know. I mean, Japan and some of these countries that are facing fertility issues, at least they're honest enough to be talking about it. They have made a public, they have created public awareness so that people know. We in Jamaica, we're not talking about it. I'm telling you that we are experiencing some serious health issues, and the country is aware of it collectively. But I want you, if you're on the show tonight, if you live in Jamaica, I want you to tell me when last you see at least 4 or 5 different persons that you know is pregnant. 4 or 5 different persons that you know is pregnant. When you walk downtown, how often do you see a pregnant person? By the time we realize that this is a major problem, it's going to be far too late. And we don't understand the financial or the economic fallouts, you know. We don't understand how it affects us. We don't understand that if a certain amount of children are not being born, the corruption and the debt that our government has incurred is going to be the responsibility of a few people. So we don't understand that if children are, why is it important for the government to ensure and talk about schooling and so on? It is because when a government borrows money, it is borrowed against the population that is to be born, that is alive and to be born. And so when children are not being born, it means that there is a high risk that the government is going to default and paying back the money that it borrowed.
But Dr. Ben, when you look at the whole scenario of our country, Dr. Ben, how can a woman afford baby pampers and baby feeding in this day and time and age? Although the poverty rate is going down, poverty rate is not going down. And so the young people are not having enough of you know what to end up getting pregnant. Or they refuse to get pregnant because they can't afford a baby. You don't think that's the problem, sir?
Well, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe that. No, so I think differently now. I think a bit differently. Because again, my approach to life is always going to be on the power of the people, not the power of the government. I don't put so much responsibility in the hand of the government. I put the hand in the responsibility of people, and I put the responsibility into the hand of communities. So I believe in people, I believe in communities. And so, like I was coming down, I was driving on the road, and I saw some bad road right at your gate. You're going to tell me, say, wait for government to fix that. No, that's people, that's community. Labor Day just passed. I mean, there are certain responsibilities, and if you're paying taxes, there are certain responsibilities that it is reasonable for us to expect the government to be responsible for. But at the end of the day, if you live somewhere, if you live in a community where no politician no live and no government no live, are you a vehicle or mash up?
But no, Dr. Ben. If you're paying taxes in a country, sir, it is a responsibility of the local government to make sure the roads are fixed.
And if they don't fix it,
the government rather.
But if they don't fix it, who's going to feel it?
I agree with you, but so where's the tax money going?
No. While we're fixing that, while we're addressing that, the reality is that you are the person that is going to, and so while as a people and while as a community we're doing what we are doing, until we reach there to fix that, and none to pay attention and to do your certain civic things does not mean that we are not going to hold the government accountable. But then there's the other side where a lot of times we put too much expectation on the government. And by putting too much expectation on the government, we sometimes neglect some things that we can do.
Dr. Ben, and I know you know this, sir. In any modern democracy, when you vote in a government, you expect the government to make sure that you have road, water, light, healthcare.
True.
So why is it it's not being done in Jamaica? And because it's not being done in Jamaica and stuff are getting so sky high, the young people refuse to get pregnant. They can't afford a baby.
Well, look at what Dorit says. Dorit said too much rum and boom. And man pants at their knees, back weak. Can't serve them, ya big strong, yeah. Could that be one of the causes, Doc, where men just start drink liquor and that's
morning
it?
to night?
Yeah, as I said, that I think, let me say, I think that we live in a society where so much people, it's easy to just point fingers. The easiest thing is to point fingers, and I mean, it doesn't. Whoever is in government, whether I'm a non-partisan person, PNP, JLP, and this is not unique to Jamaica. It's still in the US, it's still in Canada, it's still, everywhere you go in the world, it's the same because there's no perfect country. And so what I'm saying is that I believe in focusing on people power. What is it that you can do for your country? It's all about sometimes what is it the country can do for me? What is it that the government can do for me? I believe in what is it that I can do for the country? What is it I can do for my community? What is it I can do for the person next door to me? And that does not say that we are not going to hold the government accountable. We need to hold the government accountable because the other flip side to that, is that we can't allow the government to believe that you're going to collect taxes, do what you want to do, and then people are going to pay for something and then do it themselves. We don't want to push that mindset. We don't want to push agenda. We want to be balanced what we're doing. So while we are holding government accountable in terms of what they should be doing, and if they're not doing it, they should be moved. I mean, I can't understand if a government is not doing something, why are they allowed to be in that? Why is it that, for example, with the scandal name where you see money missing, I can't understand how the money missing. If you know what you have to go through to open a bank account, how is it that not even one person has gone to prison? The money had to go to somebody. Somebody had to sign for it. Why is it that nobody has gone to prison? Let
me ask you this question, Dr. Ben.
Mm-hmm.
You travel St. Thomas Road, eh?
Yes.
Okay. Taxpayers spend how much $1 billion on the St. Thomas Road.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a well-known politician who is in local government in St. Thomas, own a quarry that has mall that is not a good texture mall.
Mm-hmm.
And they put it on the road. And that is why the road is where the road is right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying to me, is the people of St. Thomas supposed to go and fix that?
No, man. I mean, I'm not saying that everything people must fix, but I'm saying that there are some things that we can do. And what happens is that sometimes we leave some things to the government, and there are some things that we can do for ourselves.
All right, hold the thought. We have a caller here, Miss P from Jamaica. Miss P, welcome to Come Breeze with Rattigan. Talk to us.
Good night, gentlemen. Good night, Dr. Ben. Good night, Mr. Bumba Bar, Mr. Bumba V.
Good night, Miss B.
Listen, the topic of female not getting pregnant. It all boils down to most of the men, or some of the men, becomes a woman. So females have to be very careful, extreme careful what they do. Because most men in Jamaica now, they are gays. So infection are run more than anything. You will see a man and he look good and he have money too. Most of them have money. And those men are gay. None for them boy where you see them drive big Benz and look good to come. Most of them are do them body like I go to the gym and things. And when you take a stop, they are gay. I work at a place where it's a man. They are gays. And then the poor one now, them just confused and rum and boom. So the young ladies, them nowadays, and look and say, and I like when we go juke and then baby come here to boy. Period no come. So the thing we say, Lord God is gone again. If period no come. But nowadays, you have to think. And the young people them I think they don't want to suffer the same atrocity where them parents go through with them. That is it. It's not like they don't want to have baby. But they're afraid because you meet a man and he might behave like him. But he might take what you forget. You understand, gentlemen? Yeah. That is it. That is it. There's no factor. And the next thing again, you get pregnant, that is good. But when you go to the hospital, if there's a complication, you are going dead. Simple little oxygen. Childbearing come with no factor. Well, thank God when I used to have kids. I have most of my kids at home and deliver myself. Now I'm mothering these people and that again. Not even oxygen, gentlemen, there at the hospital. A lady can in a labor and she gets a little epilepsy. All depends on what happens. She want blood, no blood. She want an ultrasound to see the baby turn in a labor for a certain time. Doctor wants to bring up the baby turn in the cervix. No machine. So when you put yourself in those problems, you don't make it. It just doesn't make it. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You don't make it.
This
Miss P, some of the persons who come, it's sad because a lot of the persons, well, not a lot. I should say, yeah, I can't say a lot. A lot of the persons who come who say they want to have a baby. You know they're not in a position to have a baby. And it's not because their reason for not wanting to have a baby is not because they can't afford it. Spoke to a lady yesterday or day before yesterday who lost 2 pregnancies. And, well, first of all, she came to see me and she was fussy because she had to go back to work. And I asked her, I asked her, when you got pregnant, what age did you, how far in the pregnancy did you lose these children? She said, in the first 3 months. I said, when you spoke to your doctor, did your doctor mention anything to you about your womb being shallow? She said, no, but them say, if me get pregnant again, them have to go put me on bed rest. I said, well, the doctor didn't talk to you, but that's basically what is happening to you. Do you know that if you get pregnant, you won't be able to go to work? Are you in a position to get pregnant and stay home? Can your partner alone pay the bills? And she said, we tried. So the point I'm making is that their decision to want to have a child wasn't because they could afford it. Their decision, their problem was not that they couldn't they could afford it. It was because of health issues. And I'm saying that a lot of the persons who come, it's not that they're in a position to afford a child why they want one. They still can't afford it and they want one. The major factor is they are unable to because of an underlying health reason.
Yes, that's a one too. In Jamaica now, when my past childbearing age, not really fully, but me no educated. But they have a policy. And Mr. Ratty, this is for you as a lawyer. They are now telling the young ladies at the work, you have to work with the company or the institution for at least 4 to 5 years before becoming pregnant. If you get pregnant before that, you have no more job. And it seems like it's a law passed where it's legal. You are working, and you get pregnant, you're gone. They might have keep you till you near a baby. Depends on the type of job where you do. But you're not getting back employment. So you're not getting no maternity leave, you're not get, because the government passed you have to get maternity leave, but the companies find a way to go around it.
Yeah.
So once you know work for 5 years, you get pregnant. Them no want you back.
Yeah, the way them go about that, the most common way them go about it is to hire you as an independent contractor, not as an employee. And
Right.
and so them not have to provide you with a whole bunch of benefits that they would for regular employee. That's why.
Right. Yeah.
No, go ahead, please.
That is what they're doing. Even where I work, I hear my co-worker tell them, we are staff. I said, kid, cut the crap. Come on, Jamaica, wake up. I have to tell them, if a staff, if you are sick, you're supposed to get sick leave, vacation leave, and if you are studying further in the academic, you're supposed to get a leave because study depends on how long you work. Probably may not too far.
Study
But
leave.
you cannot work at one place where if you don't work, you don't get paid.
Yeah.
And you tell me, say me as well.
No,
Not go like that.
you're a contractor. You're an independent contractor.
Thank you. And the next thing, and I will build program long, but this breaking news here. Jamaica, Jamaicans in the diaspora and everywhere, and every sector of Jamaica. Andrew Wallace, are you million? Be careful. What you are doing, you are setting a trap. And you are digging a hole, but I'm telling you, you're going to drop in it. You are doing things to irritate the Jamaican people. And when they take it to the road now, you don't call election because the country gone in a chaos. That is what you are doing. But let me tell you something. To every negative, there's a positive. You hear? So you could have put anybody you want to put out there. When them a ball a ball, when you think you get yak, you get Google. So you make sure so you can back them. God not sleep, the moon, the star, Mother Universe. And I am calling up on the private sector. When you met Trisiaga, me not hear you. Mafu, me not hear you no. Church, I'm gonna have churches where you not there.
Them
This
dead.
is so wrong. Where you not there. What and I've been asking the question over and over. What the Jamaican ordinary people have done to Uno? Why you allow Mr. Andrew? Is Mr. Andrew Wallace a king of our king and God of our God? Is he the first prime minister of Jamaica? Does his parents dead left Jamaica and will for him? What is this is happening? Church people, one of them. But the spirit of nanny there.
You know, Miss P.
Yeah.
Are you talk about church people, Miss P? I want you to say this to you. That right now, somewhere in Kings, I don't know where exactly it is. Miss what's her name again? The lady for culture, Olivia Babsy Grange. Along with the revival churches, they're having some revival meeting tonight, you know. Live on JS and PBCJ. All over the place. And then they jump in Gary. And they're sending a message to my good friend and I said, don't you trouble Giant. You want to see them out there. All Mr. Rattigan good friend is out there too, you know.
Man, make I tell them something. You could have jumped Giant. And where you want jump 1 glass of water and a solemn prayer is good enough for you. Answer 1 clean glass of water. And once your ball and make your tears drop in there. And you show it to the east, west, north, and south. To the supreme being, Mother Nature who run earth and she are the God. And when you cry to him, and he look down and see what's happening, he will put in appearance. Brother, whatever you do it already, and he can't take back. So all of you don't do no crime, no plan to take no time. This is too much. We are looking back in 1980. No. Jamaica have everywhere you see that church. People walk and tell you if you come to church, they come to church, so then I get paper. And when the things were affect the nation, you know, you hear nobody.
Everybody more short.
Private sector, I won't want it down now, run the world, I don't have the money, you know, hotel, I don't have this, I don't have the common people I work for, no. And yet still, you know, no better sleep, I don't know why they go to the bed in peace. What can go so, brother? This man take the country is like a cricket team. He know who to put a slips, he know who to put a wicket keeper, he know who to put everybody, so nobody now go stand up against him. Mr. Justice Sykes, I call on you, sir. I beg you, and me bend the knees. A good thinking Jamaican who know the law, and why I don't know the law much, but who do something.
You know,
I know you're a liar, a corporate liar, but still a liar. I said you're a constitution liar. Me I beg you to come together and do something. Miss Beswick, as a judge, a farmer judge, whatever, you know, do something.
You know, Miss P.
Rock.
You know, Miss P. I sit here and I listen to you. I sit here and I listen to you. I can hear the passion in your voice. But, you know, we live in a serious time in this country, you know. When a prime minister can appoint somebody to the FID who is an accountant, is this something is fundamentally wrong with the government of this country? And this country has gone to the dogs?
It passed the dog, sir. A dog that on 4 foot. I seen it. It passed snake. It gone until it can't. I don't know what. We can't find adjective to describe it. And people just sit down and think that it not going to affect them because they're affiliated and they connected to stuff. It don't work, so. Think of your future for your children, my God and Christ. And Mr. Wallace, let me tell you something. I want you to take a little time. If I ever hear for your toilet bowl, Queen Elizabeth, they didn't. In Jamaica, Bush Stewart, they didn't. I want to tell you that. Bush Stewart in the chain of sandals, multi-million-dollar establishment. Where who are sleeping in bed now? Who are sleeping at the Queen's bed now? Brother, you got dead one day. You can't walk from people back so, and then you, sir, do what you know is against the constitution and the people. And no, you are look a helpful. No, you say random for you them. You say meet the judge and meet the maker. You're not different from them. It's like if you do something random for you too. If you know you're clean, we had worry yourself. So call the election, brother. Step aside. Bruce Bolin. Let me tell you something. You are part of this thing. You, and you run down, you got no prime ministership. And when pressure take you, and you just, stand up and face the pressure and beg help to come out, and you just take it and throw it and do all this, And you throw and do all this, regardless of who vote for him, Bruce Golding, I tell you, hardly shall you say your man, call Samuda. Let me call you out. Because Uno in a game party for stars which are thing grows. And Uno know better. Uno know the younger one them, I will ease them up in certain things. Uno know better. Uno did see the intention of Andrew. See, I got talk your time out there, brother. See,
yes.
Andrew is a good party, but he's not a good leader. Edward Siaga, Uno a praise and a worship. Tell Uno.
His exact word, Miss P, was this.
I I work in a party, but don't give no leadership. She had a content and say, Han Jones is a good worker, but not a good leader. And look where you do Bruce Bowling. Bruce Bowling, you know, teeth no money, you know. But you're sure one serpent for winner, brother. Look at this man when he then is strong. Contact with the people who live in a, we call it a word, but it means squatters. One other word, and them are just your place. And them are do this and do that. Then it's strong, that's what I'm out. Then it's strong criticize Mark Bowling. And talk about equal skin. Then it's strong do that. And you take a man like that and put him on the FID. And me tell you, you see, Ratty, let me tell you, I mean just bet. You see when people listen to Rattigan, we alone some, Mystic Sensation, Jeffrey Tavares and others. But more so these persons who have knowledge and law and constitution. All the way Rattigan say come to truth. Rattigan first talk about the fertilizer, you know.
Yes.
And when he talk about the people attack like a lie, I tell you know. And you see come to pass now. Who don't say come to pass it but out? Rattigan and first man talk about in Morocco. That people not even know when Morocco they say an African nation. Right? Rattigan first talk about it. And the big sour mal on him. He come around up in thinking mouth. And look what Margan, you see all you? You see all you? Because you don't know so connected with the keeping money and minister education. You know that surround and do one this up and allow him to kill our people fitness. You kill we in a hospital, you kill we by gun, you kill we by food, you kill we by health walking, you kill we in every aspect. We don't frustrate, we don't give a mental problem. Picnic can't learn at school, clothes can't wash, food can't buy, you take sick, you can't go to hospital, you see police, you run from police, you run one little tax. Jesus Christ, God Almighty, how much more Jamaican people can take? Have mercy, God.
But Miss P.
And now you're frustrated with, you're told we up, they're going to make war now. You call out the soldiers them and then you declare the country in a problem now for the election can call. But I tell you, in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, in the name of Allah, in the name of Jehovah, in the name of God, the supreme being who make and create mankind and the earth, you shall go down. All of the bunks that we have picked, all of what you have do, down you shall go. The cry of the babies who are dead of our children without an accident. The cry of the mother and who know police, all you Mr. Commissioner. You who know partner with a syndicate, but you know watch international news and members say all the way at my foreign country, it will go happen here too. And worse it will happen here because the people them are looking. They are looking. I never could have think in my lifetime to see a son of the soil who went to him conceive him here, in born here, in grow here, and you on turn and tickling in our skin. Oh, because of the love of money and vanity. And your wife is worse than you. Your wife was around you, sir, because every woman know their husband weak spot.
Yeah.
And every husband know his wife weak spot. And you can look for your husband and say, Ozzy, comes what me, what we are doing is wrong. Enough is enough. Come on, man, do better than that. Nothing. Kids that dead and woman that get beat up and you say nothing. And it's so wicked that every man will beat up a woman. After everything, pedophile, is connected to you know. And what kind of, what the? Bruce Bowling, when I remember Bruce Bowling in the hotel again, and if me dead gone, use a part of this, because if you should know the pressure to become a prime minister, say, Once you become a public servant, it's gonna be different. And you have to learn to take pressure. If you're a soldier, you're gonna know so you have to go take pressure. And you turn and you understand it.
All right,
and I eat back.
SP, I'm gonna grab another call, but thanks for the commentary and continue to listen and support.
All right.
As usual.
Yeah.
Take care now. Bless up. Charlotte, good night. Welcome to Come Reasons Rattigan. Where are you calling from?
Good old Philadelphia, of course.
Miss Philadelphia. How are you?
Mm-hmm. I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Talk to us. What's on your mind?
Okay, let me turn this down, please. Okay. Good night, Dr. Ben. Good night, Mr. Tavares.
Good night.
Well, I have a few little things I want to touch on briefly, and let somebody else get a call. Now, when it comes on to the low fertility rate in Jamaica, although the men have their pants down and we have the homosexuality, woman to woman, men to men, yeah, that might be, or maybe, or it is. But this is the foremost reason why there's a low fertility in Jamaica. I just looked at something coming from the Jubilee, and they say normally it would be like 500 babies, per year? And it has reduced to about 300. Now, no matter what the other causes might be, the main one is the low socio-economic situation in Jamaica, as well as how the government is running the health sector. Who wants to get pregnant? And you go in to have a healthy baby, you take care of your body. Then when you go in the hospital, oh my God, you end up being dead. Who wants that? There's fearing to the people, Mr. Rattigan, to go into the hospital. The main equipment, they are not there. So why get pregnant? And then again, some women might get pregnant and they have abortion. They prefer their life to the child. So I am wondering to myself then, if the government can be charged for this. I don't know, but that thought came to my mind because certainly it's a crisis. And the generation at the rate of how men are dying and now women. You can see what is going to happen further down the line or when, these teenagers come up, the few that is left, they might not have equal sexuality. And so you have men keep going to men, women keep going to women, or they abstain. But it's a crisis. How can this be? So it's something to look at and look into very deep. The state that the country is in, that's the biggest problem. There's a disparity between what you can afford and what you can't afford. Also, okay, let me leave that. Now, Mr. Rattigan, I feel your pain as you was talking about signing the Magnitsky Act, because for long enough you have been talking about that. Long before we see so much that is happening right now. You have been talking about it, how these leaders who are, chopping the money, stealing, how can they be held accountable? So we all know. Now it has come to the point. Over and over, you see, it is said in the chat, so what's going to happen? It's going to talk and nothing is going to happen. Now we reach the time for something to happen. And you have to be begging the people to sign? Oh no, that should not be. You should be so willing to sign that you don't even have to ask. But I know that should have reached over 5,000. Yeah, by now. Look how much people on the program on Saturdays. So then while we on the program and we are talking, and then when it come out to action, we are not moving forward to that. I don't understand this. So, as you say, if you back down, the government is going to win, and for sure they will be going to win, and they'll be laughing. The effort that you gentlemen put into this, if you was doing this to say you're lecturing, perhaps you'd end up richer than Andrew and have more than 28 bank accounts. It's true. Because what we get from all of you, freedom warriors, we couldn't pay for that. We could not. So, I mean, I'm appealing to everyone. I'm not throwing any words on anybody. I'm just appealing to everybody. Sign the Magnitsky Act. Sign it. Not taking anything from us. Because if our forefathers and our national heroes were afraid, then how would we be here and have the rights to so many things? They fought for us.
No,
Their body bleed blood. They bled for us.
Miss Philly, I know you signed the petition. Can you please tell people how easy it is to sign the petition without donating to the site?
Well, Mr. Rattigan, as you said that this came to my mind, I'm not throwing any chasm on anybody, please. So I don't want nobody come talk this and that about me in the chat. Might be, some persons might, they're not literate in reading, you know what I mean, to do it. I'm thinking that. Or it's mere fear inside of them, that the names might be out there. I don't know which one might be, or both.
No. I'm talking about the people who say that they're having difficulty, and I do believe that to be the case in some instances. They say they're having difficulty signing the petition without having to make a donation. So let me ask you the question a different way. How did you get that message saying that you have to donate in order to sign?
It came up.
And what did you do?
It came up, and I closed the app and went back in. And then I saw something coming up like a scale, 1 to 3. Mm-hmm. And like it says, you have completed step 1, step 2, mm-hmm. and step 3 is not completed. Mm-hmm. And then like you're to donate. Mm-hmm. But then I think I scrolled down further. I think is that I did, and I was able to sign.
So you scroll.
Because the first thing you see is that comes up. Something like a scale in green, mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm. And you scroll down, you scroll past it.
Yeah.
Okay. So folks, you hear that? If you get a command or you get a request to make a donation, what Miss Philadelphia did, she went out, she came back in, and she said she saw 3 options, and she went past them. She scrolled down, and then she was able to sign without making a donation. So I suggest that I suspect that what you have to do is go scroll past the donate button, and then at the bottom you're able to sign. But on this Saturday, we're gonna clear up this problem once and for all.
Right. I was gonna come to that and ask you the question now. Why is that there? Why is that part of it there?
Well, the first thing, the quick answer is I don't know. The second thing is it's not our site. It belongs to change.org. And so they put these things out and people donate to their site. So that's there for them. For us, I don't know why it's there for us, but we're gonna find out and we'll deal with it this Saturday. I say Casserole said they did the same thing.
You know what? Mr. Rattigan, deal with that thing because it's a deterrent to the people to sign.
I know.
And they don't want to. We know where to donate already, and so it is a stop in the way. So that must be out, so the people can just go sign freely. And I am encouraging myself to think and to believe that when that is done, then the people will go and sign freely.
Okay. All right. Anything
All right.
else? Anything else before you go?
Yes, man. I want to ask you this, and then I go to that and talk something with that. All right. With Wil Reed, it's a question, but let me say this first, so I go to the question. With Wil Reed, everybody know what he has done and all of that. I won't get into that. But with Wil Reed and this case, I think it has been there now about 3 years, going on to 4. Now, we know that the DPP, come September, hopefully she's not there anymore. I'm wondering to myself, why is that case right there sitting so long and she's not dealing with it? Is perhaps she don't want to because they are, all of them, they are friends and they're colleagues, or the Prime Minister might tell her, leave that one alone, word speaking. Or somebody else after she leaves might come and deal with it. I don't know which of them mentioned. But what if she leaves and it is still there and Wil Reed is not charged? And then they say, okay, the Statue of Liberty, I don't know if that's what they use in Jamaica, in the legal term, you understand what I'm saying, is passed, and then so they have to let him go free. Because why? When you think about it, when you look through the 9 inches wall, as old time people would say, why is it still there lingering? That case should be done away with, and he be charged and put away to start serving time, or I mean at the middle of serving time or the beginning. But he should be charged, and that case should have dealt with. Now the question is, what if Paul Lewin leave that case behind when she should oversee that case? Could she be charged, Mr. Rattigan? And what would she be charged for?
It's difficult. I see where you're going with the question, and you basically said that there's dereliction of duty on her part because she should attend to these matters. But I think it's an interesting proposition, but it's a very difficult thing to do in Jamaica. I found out that lawyers, they don't bring cases against other lawyers. And
definitely, it is true. It is true in Jamaica, and Jamaica only.
I don't know about Jamaica only, but I know that in Jamaica, lawyers don't sue lawyers. It's a very collegial atmosphere. It's a small group of people that know each other, and so they just don't do it. As far as the DPP is concerned, I don't think you'd have an argument to sue her for not bringing the case to an end before her departure, because they're scheduling. Remember, they don't have enough judges in Jamaica, and they have cases just backlogged. This should be given priority. But if you recall, what Mr. Reed did was he appealed to the Privy Council. You remember, and that took some time. And some people have said that it was a delay tactic, but he went there, he lost, and so now it's back on the docket. So we just have to see what will happen. Hopefully we'll get somebody who's more who cares more about justice than political affiliation, because it would seem as if the DPP, that she's, and this is just based on her track record, it would seem as if she's not moving the cases as fast as she could.
She's not, because there's many cases there right now lying down. And I'm wondering why she's there. I can't understand that DPP. She's another criminal.
Well, the other thing too is that, remember, she said she wanted the extension because she wanted to wrap up some things, and we haven't seen anything being wrapped up. So
that's why I asked the question if she can be charged, and what will the charges be? That's why I asked a question in Ratty.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. My gut feeling, my gut reaction is that you can't bring charges against her for not bringing the case to a close. But that's just my gut reaction. I would have to ask one of my colleagues in Jamaica.
Mr. Jamaica legal system. It's too dirty and mix up like a Nancy Webb.
Hold on to me, man. Based on Jamaica's but I know I'm not no lawyer. Based on Jamaica's jurisprudence, or what they want to call it, or something of this sort, and the DPP Act, she cannot be charged for that.
No. Jeffrey's saying that based on his knowledge of the act, that she cannot be charged for not bringing a case before the bar of justice in a reasonable time. Because then there are other things that we're not privy to, that we don't know. We don't know what the schedule is like, because they may have, it may have been scheduled, but then, because of the backlog and all of that. Well, it works to Mr. Wil Reed's favor and not to the Jamaican the population.
Not to God's favor, though.
Yeah, but
not to God's favor, God, I will give him justice. Let me answer this question before you end on that. What he has done, don't it's a criminal act?
Allegedly, what he's done, because we always have to use that word. That what he's alleged to have participated in, yes, it's a criminal act.
All right, you know why I asked the question? Because, for instance, like Noel, with Donnelly's case, that's a criminal act, murder.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any difference in between? Per se, the law as to what Wil Reed done and why I asked, because Wil Reed case is before Donnelly's, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Donnelly's own is going on now, while Wil Reed won't sit down because his own was before Donnelly's own, and so I'm comparing both of them. You understand what I'm saying? Why is Donnelly's own is being tried now as to Wil Reed and their criminal act?
Yeah,
so is there any difference between that?
But remember, Donnelly case is a murder case, It's a total different thing from Wil Reed case.
That's why I asked the question if what he has done, if it's a criminal thing, because his own to Donnelly's case is criminal. So that's why I'm asking, why? Tell me, no legally.
But what we're saying to you is this, Donnelly case is a murder case, yes. But on the other hand, there is no casket or whatever they want to call it, or dead body to show for Donnelly's case. Another thing again, if I'm right, Wil Reed case is before the court, yes. And based on all of that, is there enough evidence to say, okay, they're going to, really make this case go along? They're dragging out the case because of certain things. Just like Donnelly's case, they were dragging it out all along. Right now, Donnelly's case, the gentleman who
all right, okay.
Hold on for me, darling. Okay. The gentleman who they said had the surveillance camera. He's saying that he can't remember certain things either.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be that. It could be a scheduling problems, and it could be people filing motions and all of this stuff, because it depends on how creative your lawyer is. They just buy time. They just keep filing motions, and then also remember you have the discovery process where they have to turn over things, and it's a lot of things going on. It's much more than what we're discussing right now.
Oh boy.
All right.
Anyway, let me leave that alone. That is heavy stuff. Anyway, Doc.
Yes.
Doc, and let me just say this to Doc, and then he will answer or whatever. Discuss it.
Yeah, ma'am.
Doc.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm talking now to you, Doc, about mental issues between male and female. The other day I was reading an article, and I see where in 2023, it is saying 26.4% of women having mental issues as to men who has 9.7, right? And when you realize, I would think if I didn't see this, that it would be men above women, but it's women above men. So, and that's according to the National Institute of Mental Health, the NIMH. So, Doc, they were saying, like, women, they have all the mental issues because of, women's health, might have, issues with the, bearing children, life on a whole, and so on. But then I am saying to myself, if that is the case, then we don't know what the percentage for 2024 and also now 2025.
Right.
If that is the problem on the low socioeconomic scale, then you can imagine what it is like now in 2025 with especially Jamaican women. I'm talking Jamaican women right now.
Right.
Like that. What is happening to the women down there with all of this situation that is happening down there, and they can't even afford the basic amenities for life. And I think that too contribute to the low fertility rate in Jamaica. You don't think so, Doc?
Well, of course, social factors contribute to it. Of course, if you turn it around, if you're in a home, a lot of the things that the men wouldn't even look at. Women are fussy about, not closing on the toilet seat, roaching this. Women are nurturers now, so they take on a lot more. So they tend to be a lot more stressed. Whereas the men in Jamaica are more susceptible to illnesses related.
Doc, let me wait, Doc. Let me hang up because it's echoing in my ears.
Okay.
Right.
So what I'm saying is that I don't know. I look at things a little different than how people look at it. I look at things very differently because, as I said, I look at things very differently because a lot of times, sometimes we make it look as if stress there in Jamaica more than in America. And I come to America and I see more stress there than in Jamaica. Sometimes I don't like to join the bandwagon as if sometimes I think we give Jamaica so much. We focus on a lot of the negatives and a lot of the issues. We magnify it, so it's not that it's not here. And we do the opposite. A lot of times people go to America and what they find, because we make it look as if it's a nice place. And when you go there, you find that it's worse than Jamaica in many ways. So there are a lot of benefits. There's a lot of a lot of side effects. So coming there, you find out that there's a lot more stress in America, especially with what's happening there in the government. A lot of people who went there for better, who had a lot of freedoms, are under a lot more stress now than we have here in Jamaica. One thing about Jamaica is that it's a laid back society. It's a laid back society. A lot of things that you can do and get away with in Jamaica you couldn't do it in America because you have to be producing. You have to be, So I think that there are social factors here and there are social factors all over the world. But as I said that I believe I don't focus a lot on what I don't have control over, and I don't talk about a lot what I don't have control over. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't talk about it. I focus a lot about what I can, because we talk about the babies. Like, for example, we're talking about the babies, and I'm saying that 50 years ago, a lot of the women that had babies, it was home births. So because the government has as somehow successfully convinced the population that giving birth, which is a natural process, they have convinced most people that it is it's an emergency. It's equated to having a broken leg or a broken arm. And so in a home setting where it used to be done 50 years ago, we see a small amount of that, and they have now taken deliveries into theaters. And people, as I said, people don't know the amount of persons that are being induced, the amount of unnecessary cesarean section. There's a lot that is happening that we have allowed the system to allow us not to think for ourselves, and we have given too much power. We have given too much power to the government. We have given too much power to the system, and by doing that, what we have done is that we have taken away the power that we have as a people. So as far as I'm concerned, I focus a lot on what I can measure, what I personally can have direct measure and responsibility over. So a lot of the people who say that, boy, it's too expensive to have children, it's not true. It's not. I don't believe. I don't. It's in my opinion, it's not true. A lot of the people who say it's too expensive, it is because they sometimes rely on the system to do things for them, and because they rely on the system to do things for them, and it is not happening, they have a problem. But a lot of them, if a lot of people, if they were to push more, sometimes even in Jamaica, than they push outside of Jamaica, because a lot of people who make it outside of Jamaica, they go there and they tell themselves that nobody now give me nothing now happen to me. Me have to make it happen. And so what happens is that they see results, they produce, you know. But a lot of times, you know, we have this mentality sometimes and say, boy, you know, I'm waiting on this and I'm waiting on that, and that now happen, I have this excuse. And this is also true for a lot of the persons who are in the US. A lot of the persons who are born in America, who have rights and opportunities, they don't take advantage of it. It is the immigrants. Most of the success stories in foreign countries are from the persons who are not from that country, because they go there with a mindset that nobody not gonna give me anything, nothing gonna drop in my hand, I have to make it happen. And then what we see happen, these are the persons who make it happen. So, and that is not to say that there is not opposition from the system. That is not to say that there is not corruption in the system. But if you sit and focus on the corruption, if you sit and focus on what is happening, I'm telling you, nothing is going to happen from you. So I don't sit down and I don't talk with people who can find faults. No, I just focus on what can be done, what is measurable. And if I can't do anything about it, then I focus on what I can do something about. So a lot of times, I'm not somebody who go into a lot of politics, because I know that my views are very different from person. But as I said, I focus on. So if you bring something to my attention, don't just raise an issue. Don't just tell me about a problem, because I don't work with it. I can't see problem. I only see solution. So when you raise a problem, let's also discuss a solution. If not, don't raise a problem, because you're not going to get me to participate. So raise a problem, then raise a number of solutions, and then let's work on the solution. If you're not doing that, then don't raise a problem, because I am a solution-oriented person. I only focus on where how solutions can be done.
Well said, sir. Well said. Well said. Mr. Tavares, what you have to say?
You know, Mr. Rattigan, I'm listening a little bit. Something came up on my phone a while ago that I had also tuned into. Not disrespecting your program at all. That we need to file an ATI to find out from Babsy Grange who is paying for this revival night that she's having. Because yes, She's on stage now, jumping up and down.
Yeah, but is she a guest or is it a government sponsor?
It is sponsored by her ministry.
Oh, really? All right. Well, then you have your work cut out for you. You can file an ATI then.
Because me want to know. I mean, look how much jump up they're going. Look what's going on in the country. And them see it fit. By the way, today is Siaga's birthday. And that is why they're having the revival get together.
Hey, Dr. Ben, a dear friend of ours said to tell Dr. Ben, preach. She said,
I should do what?
So to tell us if continue preaching, man. You're preaching good word.
Okay.
So, but folks, listen. I get out of the midnight mood, you know. Because here's what happened. We are talking about Bob's Grange, and we are talking about some other issues. But the issue regarding the drill, like I said when we started, it's much more than the drill. It has to do with the personalities. It has to do with kickbacks. It has to do with all kinds of schemes, criminal activity to the core. It's a lot more than advertised. What you're seeing in the media is just the tip of the iceberg. And come Saturday, we hope to provide part 2, where we're going to expose some more things. But really, and we're trying our level best to do that. But there are some hurdles. There are some obstacles we have to hurdle. And one of them is that, we're getting information from some folks that we just can't release. For obvious reasons, we just can't. But there are people out there with tremendous amount of knowledge about what is going on, what has gone on. And from what I've been told, people are shivering right now. They're fearful that we're onto something. And like I said, this is, if I get the permission, because I have the information, if I can get the permission from these folks, we're going to blow the lid off of this thing. We're going to expose this like it's never been exposed before. And you're going to see the underbelly of the beast in Jamaica. You're going to see, and that beast is corruption. And you're going to see how cruel, how wicked, and uncaring some of these people are. They don't care whether you die or live. They just want to make a buck. And they're making millions of bucks. Millions. And then just not care people. Believe me, my heart bleed when I hear some of the things that will happen. My heart bleed. And there's some folks listening tonight. They're part of the conversation and they know what's going on. But again, we have to protect it. We have to protect people. We have to make sure that people are safe, and safety is a real concern. Real concern. But I'm just hoping and praying that I can get the authority to release the information. And then we'll move on from there. Leprechaun asked a question. Leprechaun said, what's your thoughts on the record amount of guns found at the Tivoli Wharf? Leprechaun, if them find 200, 2,000 come in already. If them find 100, 1,000 come in. Jamaica is just teeming with weapons. And if you think about it, this is like the 3rd siege I think they've had within the last 6 months or so. Or at least I think within the last year. I forgot the stat. Somebody sent it to me. At the same location, right? The same location. What I tell you is that them have them links set up, and things that just pass through, and this is just, don't think for one moment, Leprechaun, that this seizure is a first. I know you don't think that, and I'm not saying that you think that, but what I'm saying to everyone is that, remember, the Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang, remember what he said? and he said it years ago, that Jamaica is averaging about 200 legal weapons coming into the island. Not every year, not every 6 months, but every month. That's 2,400. 2,400. And remember now, it's compounded because every year, remember, they'll give you a number. They'll say, oh, we recovered 600. So if they recover 600, right? What happened to the other 1,800? What happened to the 1,800? I remember it's compounded every year. Every year. They have never recovered 2,400 weapons in a year in Jamaica. To the best of my knowledge, they have never recovered 2,400. And that's what's coming in. I remember now, when the government tells us this is what's coming in, it's a low number. Remember that, because they have to protect themselves. So they'll tell you that, you know, if they tell you it's 2,400 coming in a year, count on about 3,000 or more. So that's what I think about that leprechaun. While we'll give them some credit and say, yeah, let's stop it. But let me finish this statement. While we'll say, yes, we'll give them some credit, they got 200. We don't know if the 200, if they really caught the 200, or somebody say, hey, we have to do a good face, show up, a effort, that something to show that we're doing something, and them do that. But here's something else, leprechaun. What about the 1,000 stick of dynamite? Well, them fine. How many more sticks out there? What about the 300 pipe bombs they found? And I think that maybe the same location they found them. And what about the pipe bomb up at the Prime Minister's house? I heard that somebody said the other day that maybe I him did up there, because remember the fertilizer missing too, you know. And you know, fertilizer is a major component of pipe bombs. And because the fertilizer missing, somebody was saying, well, maybe the Prime Minister up in my yard and make pipe bombs. I don't know, you know, I somebody said that. But then somebody also said they noticed that we didn't have the bomb squad at his house, we didn't have the ambulance at his house, we didn't have the dogs at his house. Nothing to indicate that there was a bomb threat at his house, although it was reported that it was a bomb threat. So there's so many things going on in Jamaica that, as I said before, and I'll say it again, and I'll continue to say it, it's content rich. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
And not only that, based on what I was told, that those pipe bombs may have came in through a construction company that was blasting dynamites to make the road in St. Thomas. And it may end up going somewhere else that it's not supposed to go.
But here's the thing. Why would a construction company use a pipe bomb?
Good question.
They don't use pipe bomb for make roads.
They use dynamite to blast the rocks.
Exactly. Yeah, they don't use pipe bombs.
I don't know. But you know, Mr. Rattigan, we sit here and we're talking about so many things going on in the country.
Freedom, behave yourself, freedom. Freedom, behave yourself. Freedom. See, freedom said Julius. Freedom. I'm speaking to you, freedom. Behave yourself. The GG.
Yes.
No. Jeffrey, you gotta draw me out. And here's why you gotta draw me out. Because the GG is connected to is connected in a weird way. He's connected to the drills.
Oh.
He's connected to the drills. And I was told today that he's bedridden. That the man can't move.
Oh.
Can't move. Yeah, I hear that. And there's a story behind it. And I heard the story firsthand.
Oh,
but
Lord.
again, we just have to get permission from people to speak. And we haven't got the permission yet. So right now I'm just in we call it a listening mode. So I'm just listening to the stories as they come.
So Mr. Rattigan, don't you think that the Jamaican people are paying the Governor General in the tune of how much $1 million for his office and to pay him personally? You don't think the press secretary of the GG should come out and tell the nation something?
They're not going to, especially in a situation like this where he's
Incapacitated, what they call it.
Yeah, they're not gonna come out and say anything like that. And by the way, people, just so you know, for ATIs here, we talk about ATIs, access to information, where you can ask the government, you can ask ministries, departments, and agencies about about what the government is doing, and you can get documents. Well, just so you know, the Governor General is exempt. You can't ask him anything on the ATI. He's exempt. He is exempt from ATI, if you can't believe that. So you cannot ask his, and I tried. I sent something, but I sent something to his office because I know of a journalist who requested something through ATI and they responded. And then I went and I asked, and them no response at all. And then I found out that they're exempt. They don't have to give you anything.
But, Mr. Rattigan, you don't find this very funny that the doctors who, let's say, is involved in some drill thing at UWI, you hear nothing from the medical council board about anything like that?
Well, if I have my way, and I know some of them watching right now, if I have my way, you'll hear about what's going on up there this Saturday. If I have my way, you'll hear. There's a believe me, Jeffrey, the story is huge. And what's remarkable in a negative way is that we don't have journalists reporting on this. It's sad. We don't have journalists reporting on this. Florence Brown said, how can Dennis Strong be appointed as director of FID when he attacked the IC about the statutory declaration? Florence, one word, links.
Corruption and links.
Links.
It does not look good, Mr. Rattigan, that so many things happening in the country. The GG, not a word from the Governor General of Jamaica. The medical council board not saying anything. You hear nothing from the lame duck minister of health, who just go around and take pictures and PR stunts. What is going on in our country? You're hearing that people who are not really neurosurgeons is performing surgeries. You hear about Robert Pickersgill can hardly walk.
Jeffrey, stop, cause you put me over the precipice of me when we want to talk, but we don't want to say nothing. So let me stop this. So let me stop. Joel Vaz said, "What if the King of England ask him? I think you're talking about the GG. Yeah, of course. The governor can't. I mean, the King Charles or Buckingham Palace. They can order him around. They can do what they can even tell him. Say, you know what? You're ineffective, so go to your yard, go live at St. Mary, wherever your mansion is. Just vacate King's house and him have to leave. So, yeah, the king can tell him what to do. Not ask, the king can tell him what to do. And by the way, the only one who can do that.
And the Prime Minister can also appoint Costas Fuller as Governor General right now too.
Yeah, they can get that. They don't have a deputy governor general. It's just whenever the governor general is traveling or incapacitated, they can then appoint someone, which is usually the Costas. Yeah.
Yes. But I think what the Prime Minister should have done, Mr. Rattigan, is appoint me to the FID.
What you not go over there go do now, Jeffrey? Tell me.
What do you mean go over there?
No, I ask you. I don't know. I ask
investigate,
you.
man.
What do you mean you go over there investigate?
Investigate and lock up who to be locked up.
Yeah, but the person at the head, them not doing an investigation.
Well, I just sit down and yam taxpayers' money too.
Oh, you go there and yam taxpayers' money too. Because you're not going to be no different than the one before. Yeah?
I'm driving around in my Pro. I don't have my security guards around me.
Well, the one before, the person, the what, technical director, I think them call him, was Selvin Hayes and Selvin here, and he was pretty good. So I don't know what you'd go over there go to.
Now tell me something now. What Dennis Chung going to do, Mr. Rattigan? An accountant.
What Dennis Chung is going over there to do? He might go over there go do the bidding of people. That's all. Because remember now, he didn't appoint himself, somebody appointed him. And they must have seen something in him that's appealing to them. That they said, we're going to put him over there. Because that's how it works at that level. It's not about meritocracy. It's not about this person has all the skill sets necessary to do that job. Because he's an accountant. And I'm sure he's a very good accountant.
Because I know when you're doing accounting in school, chartered accounting, you have to do a little bit of law too.
Yeah, but him not very little investigative skills. We might go over there go do. And then with him making a statement saying that essentially he didn't see anything wrong with the Prime Minister having 28 bank accounts. You can't put him over there because the investigation is over there and you go put him over there. Put him over there if you go kill it. I mean, him already voiced his opinion about it and then you send him over there. It would be one thing if the guy didn't have any skills, but the guy never said a word. But him not have the skill to be an investigator. He's not an investigator. And then him already come out and make a statement about a matter that's pending over there. And then now he's going over there. So this is easily predictable about what's going to happen. Easily.
Jamaica. Every day Jamaica is keeping.
Who and what can prevent this appointment? I guess the Governor General, maybe the Governor General, because he has to. I think the Governor General has to
sign off on
it. Yeah.
And he will never sign off on it. And he never prevent it, rather.
No.
Because even the acting GG cost us full up. He listen to what Andrew Holness says and go along with it too.
Yeah, Joel, I'm not sure about the structure of. I shouldn't say I'm not sure. I just don't remember this. I know I've seen it. I just don't remember the structure of it.
No, they do have a board, Rattigan.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they don't have a board. I'm saying I just don't remember. But I know that the person who sits at the top, they wield a lot of power. So. And then think about it too. The FID reports to the Ministry of Finance to favor Williams, the one who can't count. So you know what I got happening over there, so.
And who does the ministry? Who does favor announce answer to? The PM.
Answer Prime Minister, yeah. So you see what's going on, and that's why when you hear Rosalie Hamilton say that we have a bastardized version of the Westminster system and it's not working because the problem that we're having in Jamaica is systematic. It has to do with the system. You have to agree with her because look at that system. And then they want to continue with Dr. Ben. They said, look, let's get a president, but let's get in the scheme of things, the Prime Minister is going to name that president.
More corruption. More problem.
He's going to name the president in consultation with the leader of the opposition. But if the leader of the opposition says no, then the leader of the opposition, he has to present someone, and then the Prime Minister presents someone. And I think they did away with that, and they said, no, there's a way where, if the opposition leader objects, then the Prime Minister can then move forward. And I think the voting would go from a simple majority to a 2/3. So it's all again.
Not when they're appointing people, though, Mr. Rattigan.
No, he's not appointing the president.
Oh yeah.
He's not appointing. He's just nominating the president, and then it goes for a vote in Parliament.
Mm-hmm.
So, so let me see what there's. Oh, fertilizer. Some people ask about that. Yeah, the fertilizer. We're good with the fertilizer. What's it? Why no? Chung's appointment for the departure of Selwyn is with the middle office. And you know what? OT, we need to let people know that Chung is coming from where? From the resilience thing that thing having to do with like FEMA. It's like the Jamaican FEMA. And who was there? Who was just there?
Audrey Mark.
No. Who was just over at the Jamaican FEMA? It's a former police commissioner.
Oh, you mean Anthony Anderson?
Yeah, he was there. I know they just musical chairs. They just move him around. I know he's coming to Washington.
He's already in Washington.
We're gonna welcome him. He hasn't made any. I don't say any public.
Yes, but he's already there.
Good, because we want to talk to him about some things. And I trust me. I doubt very much he's gonna have something like what Audrey Marks had. The Let's Connect.
True.
And then talk to the diaspora. I doubt very much he's gonna. Or if he has one, he'll probably have one, and then that's the end of that.
And even if they do, they don't want you understand it.
No, and Jamaican people, so they waste your money, because if the projections are correct and the PNP they win the election, what do you think going to happen to Mr. Anderson? He just got here. We spent all of this money to bring him here, and the election is going to be called by September. Although I'm being told that it could go until December, but let's say it's September. Then he's going to have to go home. They're not going to leave him here.
Nope. They don't want him there.
Well, that's another useless, just wooden, unfeeling person. Useless. And that's what we continue to do as a government. We continue to promote these people who are useless. It's a Peter principle. You know, you promote them to the level of their incompetence. What about the extension, statute of limitation concerning the drill? If it's corruption, there's no statute of limitation. If it's fraud, I think I'm not sure if it's 3 or 6 years. But here's what we should hope for. I'm telling all of you 319 devices attached to this. Here's what we should hope for. We should hope that the 2 invoices from, what the company name? MedTech, the other one.
You mean the one in the United States?
Oh, yeah, Medtronic, right? The one in Jamaica is MedTech. Here's what we should hope for. We should hope that the 2 invoices that we have from Medtronic, that they're bogus. That's why we should hope that they're bogus. Because if they're bogus, no, the federal government can get involved. No, the FBI can get involved. And that's a big problem for them. John Smith said 7 years for fraud. Is that 7 years in Jamaica? Oh, Calvin says, could it possibly for the GG bring in the drill to work on his back? No, he didn't bring the drill in. They did use from what I'm being told, they did use a drill on him, but he didn't bring the drill in. Didn't they say Anderson would get double pension? Well, he's getting a pension already from the military. I don't know if he's getting one from the JCF, but he's now here, from what I've been told. Will, the question I asked prior to the show, what was that again, OT? Oh, it has to do with, don't tell me, OT. Surcharge. Yeah, OT was asking me about the surcharge. Can the government institute an action for surcharge against the permanent secretary or the government official who actually paid out or contracted for that $31 million for the drill, if and when it's paid? And the answer is, I believe that they could go after them for it, because that could be considered waste. Maybe fraud, maybe abuse, and so you could go after the permanent secretary or somebody who person was involved in that transaction. Because if the thing is sold for, and we got and I'll show it on Saturday, we have something from the company which shows that unit is sold brand spanking new with a whole bunch of attachments for $25,000. Let me double check. I think it's $25,000.
But Mr. Rattigan, my question about the invoice though. if the company says that invoice is not from them and they're using the company name, isn't not going to be a problem there too?
That's the one I'm saying. The federal government could get involved in that one. Yeah, from Medtronic, the Medtronic Midas Rex Electric MR8 EM800 set with attachments and IPC with foot switch. The whole works, kit and caboodle, the whole thing. $25,000.
So okay.
$25,000.
So
and the contract was for what? The contract was for about $198,000.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask this question though. The stuff that I sent to you that is published in the Gleaner,
mm-hmm.
they are selling they're charging the government of Jamaica item by item for those things.
Yeah, and here you can get the whole thing.
Yeah,
you can get the whole thing right here for 25 grand. We're going to talk more about that on Saturday about the invoice that you mentioned. It's actually published in the lawsuit. I think it's an attachment. But we'll get to that and we'll show that it's all a game. No, now they're running scared and they're trying to do things that are just unsavory. They're just false. We're gonna show some things, and the person is watching us right now. We did an audit, and let me just give you one piece of breaking news. Some of the things on the invoice for the 800 drill, they've expired. And when I say they expired before the contract was executed. So it's all sitting that them put up on the people and say them are gonna buy, not new things. Something expired and them are bring it in and well, we're going to show it. We're going to show it on Saturday. We're going to show it on Saturday.
Wow.
So this over there. Dr. Ben, you have any? Oh, hold on then. Let me fling this up here before we go. Hold on then. OT, this now play. Right now play.
No, it's the wrong one now.
Okay. But folks, just remember.
The One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation and its global supporters cordially invite Jamaicans a yard and abroad to its inaugural Reconnection on June 21st, 2025 at the Ranny Williams Entertainment Center in Kingston, Jamaica. Bring your entire family for a day of food, fun, entertainment, and information. Get an understanding of the Constitution and the skills necessary to exercise your rights and your civic responsibilities as Jamaican citizens. You can't afford to miss this inaugural Reconnection rally, June 21st in Kingston. Tune in for further information and updates to Reason with Rattigan on YouTube and reggaeglobalradio.com, Saturdays at 3 p.m. New York time and at 2 p.m. in Jamaica.
See for yourself.
People are that me are telling them, not for go support the thing, you know. This Saturday we are come hard at on, you know. We are come hard at on. The people who haven't made a contribution, we are come hard at those folks, all right? Because we need to get this thing going. We need to get this thing going. Doc, I have a question for you right here. What is good for bursitis? I saw it a while ago in the hip. There it is.
All right, so you know, bursitis, you know, it's inflammation, very painful, and so first of all, you want to ensure that you take out the unprocessed oils, especially what we call the hydrogenated oils. You want to get those out of your diet. So canola oil, corn oil, the vegetable oil, you want to get those out. We call them industrial oils. You want to get those industrial oils out because they tend to be very inflammatory. So you want to get those out. And then you want to increase anti-inflammatory compounds. As you know, turmeric is very good. So you can take that internally. You can, when you're using turmeric, you want to preferably use it with like a black pepper to help with the absorption of the curcumin. So that helps. So that you can use that internally. There are a number of other inflammatory compounds too that you can use, and then there are things you can use topically. So stuff like, as I said, cold foot leaves, stuff like marigold, stuff like Spanish needle, any type of herb that is salty. You can make a poultice from it and you can put it there, and it helps to relieve the bursitis. Also, the castor oil pack, because some of these herbs that you might not be able to get there, but you can get like the castor oil pack, which is very good for removing inflammations. You can get the castor oil, and then you can get, if you can't get like what we call a cotton wool, you can get like a feminine napkin, like a maternity pad. Just ensure you soak it with the oil, and you can just put it on the area and try to get something to hold it in place. Um, Ideally, what you want is that you want the body heat to um causes the oil to penetrate the area. So if what you can also do is get a feminine napkin, a maternity pad, soak it in the castor oil, put it on the area, then cover it with a towel, and then get like a heating source, a heating pad or a hot water bag. Leave it on there for about 30 minutes, 2 times, 3 times per week. And that will get rid of the bursitis pain out of the area.
Michael, the number is at the bottom of the screen. See it right there, 667-369-8569. 667-369-8569. Any more questions in the chat? We have about 27 minutes to go. Will the bus leave for St. Ann for the rally on June 21st? We're working on that, Real Black Woman. Stay tuned.
Taya is asking what's good for swollen ankles.
Okay.
So swollen ankles can be caused by a number of reasons. It could be that the kidneys is going bad, so you're having water retention. It could be that you have damaged veins. It could be that you're having problem with your lymphatic system. So there are a number of factors that could cause that. But generally, what you would want to do is you would want to try not to stand on it too much. Try to elevate it as much as possible. And then try to get something that will help with circulation. But as I said, it depends on what is causing the problem. That will determine how to fix it.
Another question, Doc, and this one I ask on behalf of a friend. And Jeffrey knows him. What do you do if you just feel lethargic, you're just lazy? Especially after you retire. Especially after you retire and you're just home. What do you do?
Sometimes if you're lethargic, a lot of times it's that you have what is called you're low in vitamin B's. It's linked most of the time to not sleeping. So if you're not sleeping properly, you're going to become lethargic and you're going to become lack of energy. So you want to look at how much sleep you're getting, quality of sleep you're getting. You may be sleeping, and if you're sleeping and you're not dreaming, it means you're not sleeping properly. So you want to look at that. That's most of the time. That's where the lethargic, low energy feel comes from. And if that's the case, sometimes what you want is you would want to get like some what do you call it, B vitamins. And when you want to take B vitamins, you want to take like a B complex, not like the B's in separate denominations. You want to take them together. Again, we have some product up there that we've sent up. It's a product that I don't manufacture, that it's from Jamaica. It's a product called Amino Pep, and I don't know the owners of that, the manufacturers of that product, but it is a product that we recommend a lot. So if you're listening, Amino Pep, you can get it in the local pharmacy down here. And I would tell persons, if you have anybody coming to Jamaica, one of the things that you should be trying to get when they come back, I say, bring a bottle of Amino Pep for me, because of the many benefits. I mean, we've had so many persons who have had benefits from Amino Pep. So we do have some now in our warehouse in New York. So if you're watching and if you're having low energy, insomnia, if you're low in like B1, B2, B6, B12, it's an excellent product because it not only has the B vitamins, it also has what we call the amino acid, the essential amino acids in them. So it's not only the B vitamins, but the essential amino acids. So when you take it, helps with amino pep. It helps to pep you up, literally, and to give you the energy that you need to move around.
Before we get to this question from Carlton, and he says, well, let's continue on the toxins. There's a product you tried one night, and you said that will give you some pep in your step and some dip in your hip. The one that you tasted it, and then you say you could feel the effect.
Oh, the Shilajit.
Yeah. So if our friend is watching, the one who's lazy, maybe you should try this product. What's the name of the product again?
Shilajit. But you have to be careful, because if you're having high blood pressure, then you want to be careful. You take the Shilajit, because it's Shilajit. And there are other products like maca powder that also helps to give you they give you energy. We also have a maca powder product as well. But the Shilajit is really
Mr. Rattigan, who are you really talking, Mr. Rattigan?
Get you up.
I beg your pardon, sir?
Who you say love to sleep? The person who to sleep and the lazy boy?
No, you know who we are talking about. Doc.
Yeah.
You can continue on the toxins now. On the paraben.
Yeah, so we're going to continue. Taya, you can contact me as it relates to the amino pep. As I said that we're actually right now just slowly building an arsenal of products in our warehouse. So we haven't promoted them. But depending on what persons need, we also have like the womb. For women who are having infertility, we have some of those products there. I spoke to you about some product that we had for men that are having issues with stamina and libido. We now have those products, a limited supply in our warehouse in New York. We did a shipment as a test, and so we sent up some. Now we're getting ready to set it up in bigger numbers. So we do have some products there in Florida. All right. So you can reach out to me and I'll let you know what's there. That product is there. The colloidal silver that we spoke about, it's now there as well, and a couple of products are there. But definitely, we just want to talk about, and we have products like gut health as well. We don't just want to talk about paraben. Paraben was just one of the products I wanted to talk about. We were really on the topic of what I call why food label matters. And so next week, all being well, we'll discuss some other food ingredients, because what I want to do is to, just like how I think we successfully help person to identify one of those labels to look out for. We want to look at some sweeteners. We want to look at some preservatives. We want to look at some other key ingredients that when you are going shopping, especially the women, when you're going shopping, you want to write down these names and you want to look for them, especially if you have children with, that are very young, because young children are very sensitive to what we call additives and dyes and hidden sugars. So a lot of the children who are having more psychological issues, a lot of them, it's due to what we call the hidden sugars. So I'm going to talk about the names of those sugars. So when you look, you'll know what to look for. I'm going to talk about the dyes. I'm going to talk about the additives as well as what they do. So you will not just hear why you shouldn't, but you'll know about them and why they are dangerous. So we just touched on paraben, but next week we're going to be going deeper into more food label ingredients.
Any more questions, OT?
I said, hey doc, mind you make them behave like serve me long afterwards. What is serve me long?
You know serve me long. Serve me long used to be like sock. And then the name turned into something, and it moved into something. It's about a drink called serve me long. Just like them have one in bedroom bully and front end lifter. Yeah.
One name long distance puller.
All right. So we'll talk about that, Taya. We'll talk about allergies. A lot of people are having allergies. A lot of people are having gut issues. And a lot of these issues are related to the food that we eat. And as I said to you, a lot of the foods that are found on the shelves in places like America that eventually come to Jamaica, a lot of those foods are prohibited from going to Europe because of their regulatory guidelines. So we wanna look at them.
Doc, what would you suggest for like gut health? So you can go regular to the bathroom and everything is the pipes are working
So
properly.
you wanna look at your water intake. A lot of people that a lot of the headaches that people have, a lot of the gut issues are linked to dehydration. So a lot of persons don't drink enough water. A lot of people, funny enough, when they're thirsty, what they do, they drink juice. A lot of these juice have compounds in them. So you want to look at your water intake. You want to look at your fiber, because after not drinking enough water, the next thing that helps us to have good bowel movement is the amount of fiber that we eat. A lot of people don't eat fiber. And then once you look at that fiber, you look at water, then you can look at some things that can help you. But when it comes on to bowel movement, you don't want to depend too much on something helping you to go, because it can end up causing you to become dependent on it. So that's why that becomes the last resort. But there are things like Senapad that are mild. There are things like there's a herb called Cascara Sagrada that is a mild laxative. There's stronger laxative like Epsom salt. There's castor oil. So there's a number. But if you want something that is comfortably and not too heavy on the body, Senapads is really very good. So 3 ounces to a cup of tea, and you drink that before going to bed, and you get up in the morning and you have it will help you to have good bowel movement.
Yeah, I said Don mentioned Metamucil to the rescue. But
Yeah,
like you say, you don't want to depend on that too much, right?
Metamucil is a type of fiber. It's a type of fiber that that you take. It's made mostly of a thing called psyllium. And that's something that expands in the colon. And what Metamucil is that what they've done again. I'm telling you, it's so important, because the key ingredient in Metamucil is psyllium, and you can get plain psyllium without all the flavorings, without all the additives. Because whereas Metamucil may help you with bowel movement, because of the amount of additives in it, the flavoring, the things that they add to make it attractive to taste, that now can have side effects for some people, not for everybody, for some people. But the plainest form, the most important ingredient in the Metamucil is the psyllium, which comes from a plant. And you can just get the plain psyllium, doesn't taste so well because it's like a blend, but you can add water to it and drink it, and that can help you with the bowel movement.
Here's another one right there. Mucoid plaque cleanse.
If you're having mucoid plaque, one of the best thing to do is a colonic enema. All right? Because when you do an enema, what happens is that the fluid that goes in softens the mucoidal plaque that is on the wall of the colon, because your colon has microscopic hair-like structure called cilias. And so these microscopic structures, basically, they're supposed to be erect, so that when the food is passing through the colon, they absorb the nutrients. And so what happens to us sometimes is that the mucus, the plaque that is there, causes, when you get Vaseline and paste on your ear side, that's what the plaque does in the colon. So instead of the cilias are erect and are able to absorb nutrients, they are flat. So the food just pass over them and come out to your system, and you don't get the absorption. So the best thing to do is not to take something orally. The best thing to do is to do a colonic enema to clean the colon.
I get a call there. Hold on.
Which can help with blood sugar management. Psyllium husk may help regulate blood sugar levels by slowing down their blood. Yeah, so psyllium, there are many benefits of psyllium husk. I actually recommend it because when they saw the benefit of psyllium husk, that is when they developed products like, I don't want to call any product, but that's when they develop products like the artificial one, where the major ingredients is psyllium. But taking psyllium by itself, as a matter of fact, if you can just get psyllium husk, just get the psyllium husk and pour it out in apple juice or pour it out in orange juice and drink it. So you don't have to use the one where they've added flavorings and they've added additives to it for taste for people to take it.
How about chia and flaxseed?
Chia and flax seeds are very good source of omega-3. And they also help with bowel movement. Again, these can be added to your juice, or they can be added to your shake. So if you make your smoothie, you can add these to it, and it helps in that regard.
So Don said that she just have her nightcap. Oh no, go ahead. What do you think about Bisivera as a tonic?
I don't know much about Bisivera. I don't know it. But it sounds as if it's a blend of the kola nut and aloe vera gel. I don't know if that, I'm just using the name Bisivera.
Busy.
It sounds like it is the kola nut, the busy, and the aloe
Yeah, the
vera.
busy, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes, and if that's the case, then busy is very high. You know, we don't understand that busy used to be used in countries like Africa to pay dowry. It was that valuable, and because busy has a form of a compound, a type of caffeine, it helps to boost the body's immune system. It's a wake you upper, and then it's suspended in aloe vera gel, which helps with the absorption. Helps to which aloe vera is a very very dense in terms of nutrients. But I tell you what, better than the busy vera. If you get the busy and blend it in the sea moss, it's even better. So if you think busy vera is good, you need to try blending the busy or the kola nut. And a friend of mine told me about it, and I have some in my fridge right now, and it is phenomenal. It's like a fuel, and because it is suspended in dense nutrition, which is the sea moss, when you drink that, my gosh, man, I can't tell you. And the worst if you do like a enema and then take it, or if you do like a fast, go on a fast and then take it. It's like a new body.
Tigo, you hear that? I hope you're listening. You need to get the busy in the sea moss, and like that you're good.
Yeah, so it's very good. I have some in my fridge right now, so when I finish, I'm gonna go and drink some. So I get the sea moss, blend it out, add a little coconut oil to it, and then you add the dehydrated busy. So you buy the busy at the market, the one with them dry at the sun, and you add that to it, and you add some honey to it. Bridget, I tell you, it's like if you drink a cup of that, it's like not only your body, it's like your brain is lit on fire.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I forget when you come here, I forgot bring some of that for me, man.
Yeah, man, it's powerful, man. So for people who are sick, people who are weak, people with certain people who are emaciated, that's a good way to give them fuel. Powerful way to fuel them up.
No, Doc, what are your thoughts about multivitamin? And here's why I ask. Because I have a friend who is in the medical profession, and he was saying that you shouldn't take those things. What you should do, they have some special blood work that you can do, and it can look at your hormones, it can look at your deficiencies. It's beyond the regular blood work that they do. And he said, based on that, he can look at it and can tell you what your body is lacking. Because he said a lot of times we're taking stuff that we really don't need. And a lady told me today that she was taking vitamin D, and then when she did something similar to this kind of blood work, she found out that
she didn't need vitamin D, so she eliminated that from her vitamin regimen. What are your thoughts about that? Should people take multivitamin, and what's the process for them to take it? Should they take it after doing this type of blood work to determine what it is that they're deficient in, or should they just go ahead and just take it because if your body does need it, you'll just expel it, you'll just urinate it?
Well, what does the person, first of all, is your medicine should be your food. So that's a source of your minerals. That should be the primary source of your vitamins and minerals. However, because we live in a world now where foods are depleted and void of a lot of vitamin and minerals, we find where people have to supplement, and that's very important. We understand supplement, not replace. So, in addition to high quality food, which is fruits, vegetables, nuts, and grains, and if it is that we're getting fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, and grain, there is really no need for us to be taking supplement. But if we live in certain parts of the world, or if we are busy, and if the quality of our food is not where it should be, then of course it's going to be important for us to supplement. If it is that we were to do blood works, then we would have been in a better position to know specifically what are the supplements that we're lacking in. And so so that way you're not taking what they call expensive supplements where you're taking minerals that is not necessary, because again, how the body works is that what the body will do is that the body will use what it can and expel the rest. So yeah, a blood test would be a good way of determining what exactly you need. But of course, if it is that you're eating the right food, you would need a blood test. You would just be satisfied. All right. So outside that, as I said, if you know you're not eating enough of the right food, or what you're getting is not good enough, then you definitely should be supplementing.
Yeah, my office manager told me that there's a test she did during COVID. It's similar to the blood test, but she said she used strands of hair, like 5 strands. You send them into this company, and then they come back and they give you pretty much the same readout as the blood work. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, man, it's more accurate. It's more accurate because a lot of things can happen to your blood from the time it was taken to when it was actually tested. The ear is far more accurate than the blood.
Okay.
Because there are certain chemicals that cannot be detected in the blood. There are certain poisons that cannot be detected. In order to know, they do a hair analysis, which gives you more information.
Okay. So Lance White said, Dr. Ben, your views on Bisvera contains Bissi, aloe vera, and nutmeg. Like you said, Bissi and aloe vera, nutmeg, mint or rosemary, ginger, etc.
Yeah. So what they use as the carrier is the aloe vera, but sea moss, because aloe vera is a gel and sea moss is a gel, but sea moss is a more nutritionally dense gel than aloe vera. So I would use sea moss over aloe vera.
All right. Get ready for shutdown now. Somebody told me to keep the phone open, but they didn't call. I guess they went to sleep. But yeah, Jeffrey, talk to us. You have anything coming up, because we're going to close out now? You have any what you bringing on your program? Who you bringing on your program tomorrow? What will you be discussing?
Tomorrow I will be speaking to my good friend Conor O'Brien. He'll be coming on tomorrow at about 9 o'clock in the morning to speak some more about the whole thing with Dennis O'Brien Chang. So we'll be speaking about that tomorrow in the morning. Oh. And then on Saturday, of course, Wil Rattigan coming on Monday. Tomorrow evening also, I'll be having opposition spokesperson and transport, Michael Phillips, on the program tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Jamaica time. I forget all about that. He'll be coming on tomorrow to speak about the transport sector in Jamaica and, JUTC losing billions of dollars. So we're going to speak some more about that tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Jamaica time, 8 p.m. US time.
Okay. And let me just thank you for advertising the petition as well as the Reconnection rally.
And let me just let people know that this Reconnection rally, it came about as a result of a conversation Jeffrey Tavares and I had. And so if you see where Jeffrey's not pushing this thing hard enough, people don't make me know. Because Jeffrey pushed this thing. We were talking, and then all of a sudden
you push the idea upon your back out.
And then me own it. Yeah, in back out, and me own it now. You know? It's a good idea. But me not say Jeffrey nowhere near me. You know, me look on my right and me look on my left, me not see him. So I'll continue to push it. Doc, what's going on in your world?
Yeah, so as I said, next week I want to talk about that. But coming up, as I said, right now what we're trying to do is we're trying to get products that we have here in Jamaica at our warehouse in New York, and then we're now working on another website because the one that we have, we are limited in terms of collecting on it because our payment processor does not want to process funds for products that are considered to be herbal or what we call nutraceuticals. So we're working with a new provider here in Jamaica. So in the next couple of days. So when I said that we're ready now, then what happened now is that the products that we have in Jamaica, we'll have them at our warehouse in New York, and in 3 to 5 days, persons can get them anywhere easily available in the US.
Good. Outstanding. Folks, we're going to shut down now. We just want to thank all of you. Want to thank Dr. Ben for being here with us as usual, dispensing invaluable information about your health and also participating in our discussion about items in Jamaica. Want to thank Jeffrey Tavares, Mr. Vumvavi, and for, again, making a contribution. And we look forward to him promoting the thing tomorrow and all of his programs going forward. And as for me, you heard my take on what's going on today, and I'm going to continue to burn the coal this Saturday, and we'll see where we go from there, because people, we have to get going. We have to get going. We have to get busy, and we have to get going. And this Saturday, don't forget to tune in, because we're going to have an outstanding program. We're going to talk to you about, again, Fertilizer Gate, Drill Gate, and we're going to talk about government inefficiency. And we have some miscellaneous things, some things that we haven't discussed in quite some time. In fact, we were thinking about doing something on the DPP, but we're going to hold that back because we have another DPP, former DPP, who's coming in, and at that point we'll talk about our findings with the GLC, their disposition concerning the matter we brought to them regarding the DPP, and we have many more things to talk about. So again, Jamaica, content rich. It's a blessing. I don't know how they do it. Believe me, I don't know how the people of Jamaica survive. They're very resilient, because with all of this content, with all of this corruption and everything going on, with all of the lies, the misinformation, everything going on, people still manage to eke out a living and to breathe. And that's why we need to get involved, people, because they're not living, they're just surviving, most of them. And we, the fortunate ones, we can't turn our backs. We have to face the issue, take the millstone from around our brothers and sisters' necks, and ensure that they can have a productive life, but not just them, their children, the community, and by extension, Jamaica. So until we see you again Saturday.
Hold on, Mr. Rattigan. Sorry, Dr. Ben, remember the thing for me now? For the thyroids, please.
Oh, yes. All right. Yeah, I'll make a note of it. So I'll send it off in this shipment coming up this week. All right?
All right.
And also, you can get him the other thing to Dr. Ben. You know what I mean? Wink, wink. All right.
All right. The other thing up there already.
Okay. All right, sir. Take care. Blessings.
See for yourself.